Okay, that's running. I can press this here. Okay, so that should be going. Let's make sure that the audio is working. Okay, cool. We are up. We are going. Let's go. Let's see. And I type let's go in chat because that's a thing apparently. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, today... I don't want to keep saying, today's a big day, but today's another big day. So, yeah, we'll start working our way into it here. Gonna wait for this to load in. And look what I used for the thumbnail today. H160. That thing's stupid easy to fly. Or when I say stupid easy to fly, I mean, yeah, it's easy to fly. But also, it's a stupid easy to turn on. God, I hope they have like a door lock on that thing, because if one of those is sitting on the runway, I'm taking it. Goodness. Battery on. Turn the engines on. Like, is it any FADEC system? That's it right there. Let's see. Configure. But guess what? We're not going to use it. We're not going to use it. Let's get the worst damn... Very tropical looking. Yeah, that's super bad. Ugh. I'm gonna top it off with fuel anyways once we get in and going. Save and back. Okay, we came in and we touched down kind of down over here at the fuel, I believe. Yeah. So we're gonna set that as departure. Where I would like to go today would be, there's an airport that I have marked. I would like to get to the coast here. Set as arrival. And Ukalika-lika-leet, whatever this is. Let's check my thing. McGrath is the midpoint I want to do. Yeah, as you can tell, it's green. That's kind of a actually first I want to mark the McKinley. So it kind of goes up the river, and McKinley should be here-ish. Downside is it's not marked as a as like a thing. Weirdly enough, so we kind of have to infer where it is by looking at these different glaciers and such. Glacials. I'm going to assume right here-ish. Add. Also, I want to make sure we're all live here. Live. If I need to change the time, I will. McGrath is... down here. Add. What I would like to do is find this airport. So we're going to follow the river up, basically. I'm going to land here at Tekalikanena. Top off on fuel, because this is a lot of work for it to get up here, and then it's pretty long getting out here. We should honestly be fine on fuel, but I would rather top off because we are in the middle of nowhere and we don't have much choice. Yeah, I could feign going here or going to one of these other places, but I want to try to keep it realistic as far as who would have Jet A. So, yeah. We're going to get into it. Going to get into it. If you are new to this series, I don't think we have anybody watching yet. This is me on my small little YouTube channel, deciding to fly around the world in an effort to fight boredom and do something during the worst time of night, which is 8, 9 to midnight or 1 or 2, which happens to be when I spend the most money on Amazon and other websites. So this is saving me money. What up, dude? You're watching. You're always watching. I don't want to say the words almost to a fault. Almost watching. But almost as in like you're the federal agent assigned to me always watching. Let's see. Are we going to get a start button here? Nope, of course not. So we got to hop out of VR for just a quick second. Click ready to fly and back into VR. Okay, now we can move around. We have freedom. We have movement. Because today is such a big flight, I'm going to check the oil. I said check the oil. Close, go away. Ooh. Look at that. Oil's good. Landing gear's good. Guess what? I want to use the landing gear today on the top of McKinley. That's on the to-do list. Okay, that's all that's checkable here as far as this goes. Whole bunch of rain inbound. Don't tell me that. Hourly. My highest percentage for where I'm at is right now. It's only like 40% or something. Yeah. I think if anything, I'm going to be getting the bottom end of that storm. But we'll see. Let's get rid of our little thingamaboo-doodobs there. Let's see. First step first. Make sure I'm sitting in the right damn place. Elaine, good to see you. Kidding. Don't get your hopes up. I know what you did yesterday. My anti-collision lights are on. That means don't walk through my shit. You too. That's on. Fuel pump is priming. Fuel is on there. Turn the engine on. Atlanta, it's Schmanta. I'm south of Atlanta a decent bit, so I'm not feeling too worried about it. But I'm going to jinx myself, so knock on some wood. Make sure y'all can hear it. Surprised the dogs didn't hear that. Okay, that's going up. Goodness. Unnecessary. Okay. Okay, you heard it. That's what matters. Like I said, we're going to kind of cross the bay here. And we're going to follow this river up. There's a airport up here, like Tekalakalaka or something. Yeah, this guy here, TKA. or PATK. We're gonna land there, top off on the guzzle juice, and go from there. We're gonna summit McKinley, or do our damnedest. I think the highest I've ever got, the 125 in this game, is 23. Goodness. What type of wind do we have here today? Holy crap. It is veining me hard. It's what? Whoa, wait a second. No wonder this is not right. Okay, so there's a thing that's really annoying with this. In the Robinson, there's a governor switch. That governor switch does not exist in this helicopter, but when I use the switch, it's on, it actually governs the engine. It's like a FADEC button or something. But it actually doesn't affect anything in this helicopter, but it affects the way it performs for some fucking reason. Which we had this issue the other day with oh no, we almost had this issue the other day. Anyways, we're good to go now. I had good rotor RPM taken off, but it just started decaying fast. Strange. Check again, the thumbnail is not a Super Puma. And yes, we are in the H125. The thumbnail is that extremely sexy Airbus H160. I took it up for a flight kind of around the home airport to make sure it worked and I could figure it out. I said, okay, cool, let's do a thumbnail with it. Brought it up here, took off from a road south of McKinley, and coaxed that thing up there. That thing is a monster, dude. It is fast. Down near sea level, it's cruising like 160, 170 knots. It is toasting fast. And of course, you get up in altitude, and it starts. The speed starts not being the speed that you want it to be. Or not as fast, but you know what can you do at that sort of altitude and stuff, so not that big of a deal. Oh yeah, I kind of wanted to do the blue helicopter white background again like last Friday. And I've done blue helicopter white background the past couple of days just because either, like I was saying, the theory is either Friday's a good day for doing this, or goodness. All these little bush airports everywhere. So it's either Friday's a good day for doing streaming, or people like helicopters with retractable gear that are the color blue with snowy backgrounds. So I figured let's take advantage of both of those options and try to do it today as well. Dude, this thing feels like it's crawling in comparison. Yeah, whatever. Either way, hope everybody is doing good today. It actually got pretty crowded in here after you left yesterday. I think I saw 14 or 15 at one point. That is, if you actually left and you weren't on one of your alts. And also, there's already a few people in here I see. Saw 4 or 5 bouncing around. If you're in here, say hey. What's up? I don't bite. My mod does, though. He's on contract. Yeah, we're just up here cruising today. Like I said, I woke up early this morning. Went out to a golf course like an hour away. There was a charity tournament going on, and me and my homie, we run an air cannon that shoots a ball a good 300-ish yards pretty accurately.
Anchorage Tower, Ryan Air Niner, 15 miles north inbound, ILS runway, 15 approach.
Yeah, since when did I ask to be on radio?
Ryanair 219er Anchorage Tower. Altimeter 29er. 80 cleared ILS, runway 15 approach.
Get off that damn frequency. I'm gonna be well below this Ryanair anyways, I'm not worried. I wonder if it did that because I'm under him, or if it's... I really haven't taken off of any Class Bravo airport. I mean, I guess Nashville is a Bravo. We did St. Louis. Kansas City was probably a Bravo. And I don't think any of those threw me on frequency. Sean, what's up? Blue helicopter, snowy background. Damn. Sean just got out-friended there. Oof. Rough. Yeah, so I was in Peachtree City doing the golf ball launcher today. Raised $2,500-ish for the charity. Very cool. I bought a motorcycle today. Cool. Not with the charity money, completely unrelated. Well, not unrelated, but unrelated. What else? Did a lot of plotting and planning today as well, which was cool. Radio chatter's keeping you here. Ugh. Shit, I said radio. Damn it. You even had it capitalized. I should have known better. So, Sean, what have you learned about radios lately? Care to share with the class? No, it's not a Harley. It's a dirt bike. It is a cheaper Chinese one, though. So I will say that. My neighbor has two kids. One's like 16 or 17 now, and the other's like 13, 14 now. They got these dirt bikes like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. When they were much smaller, they got one and they got a four-wheeler. Anyways, kids have obviously outgrown them. And I was like, man, I want a little dirt bike to like... Downside is it's a cheaper Chinese one, and an Apollo, so it doesn't have a clutch and it's like a 4-speed semi-auto transmission. So wheelies are going to be very yank back and play the balance and body weight game with it. But you getting those purchases in pre-tariff? I say, nah, this was already on soil, no big deal. But yeah, I was like, man, I kind of want a little dirt bike to do that and like practice skidding around and like drifting it and like small dirt and like little small things, you know. And my friend that has the gun range, it was like, hey, let's we need something for the range and for the property, because it's like 40 acres or something. So it's like we need something for that area. He's got a couple little dirt bikes and stuff, but we're trying to add to it to have like different levels of things that we can let people ride or rent out to people, or whatever the case. And yeah, texted my neighbor last night. I was like, hey dude, you still have the dirt bike that the kids had, and interested in getting rid of them? Or one dirt bike, one four-wheeler. I was like, I just interested in the dirt bike. But he's like, yeah, dude. I was like, oh, yeah, sure. What size is it? How much do you want for it? It's a little 110. It's like pit bike plus. You know, nothing crazy. Like I said, I do wish it had a clutch, so that would be clutch. But yeah, he's like, make me an offer. I was like, let me talk to my guy tomorrow. So the guy that has the stunt ranch, he big motorcycle guy. So I kind of brought it in. I was like, hey, got this. You know, I can probably get it cheap. I think new they're like $1,200. It's like, I could probably get it for like 400. He's like, yeah, dude, it would be cool if you get it, you know, and it's not in that bad condition. So I texted him today, because I was at the course all day with my friend doing the golf tournament whole sponsorship, whatever. And sorry, my neck's needing a lot of popping today. But text him, was like, hey dude, would you take $350 for it? He goes, you know what, I'll take $250. I was like, shit dude, I was expecting more, but okay, I'll take it. So I got home and he had it sitting at the end of his driveway. I just rolled it over to my house. I haven't paid him yet. But a cool neighbor, I think he was out doing stuff tonight. I was like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and roll it over. He's like, okay, cool, I'll see you tomorrow. So, yeah, I'm now the owner of a small Chinese dirt bike. But, take it apart, clean out the carburetor, clean the spark plug with a wire brush, because why do I want to buy a new one? Nope. The back brake's kind of frozen up, but not really. I'll take that off and put a little bit of heat on it, squeeze it, make sure it's working good. I'm going to pressure wash it, spray some gunk off type foaming cleaner on it, and get her all spiffy. Or spiffy enough where I can at least put it in the back of my 4Rider and take it over to the property this week sometime or next week or whatever. We get her running good, and we even got a little bachelor party eventually, so we'll do lap times with it. Should be good. Never pay him. No, he's a good neighbor. Good guy. I live in one of those rural-ass little neighborhoods, and he's literally directly across the street. And we see them basically every day, so. I do have more guns than him, though. So that's always an option. But the cool thing is, the charity tournament, they pay us for coming out. Because a lot of people like the hole that we sponsor. All the other holes are like, cool, here's a local business that sponsors it. You can buy a beer for $10. Or look here, you can try to putt and hit a bottle of liquor for $10, and if you hit the bottle, you get to keep it. So it's like a whole bunch of stuff where it's just like, cool, alcohol, alcohol, alcohol. But we've got the favorite hole because we have a freaking air cannon RPG type thing that we launch golf balls with, like dart tails drilled and glued into, and like everybody seems to like it, so we're a very fun hole, so they like having us around. Yeah, we got good neighbors here. Now, if Sean was my neighbor, I would not pay him. I would say, here, in exchange, I'm going to put on some noise-canceling earphones, but I'm going to turn off the noise-canceling function. And I'm going to sit in the same room as you, and I'm going to allow you to talk about radios for the next 47 minutes. And that will be the payment. And then I'll just let him autistically rant, and it'll be good to go. Not any bad suggestions. That's not bad. It's always good to be cool with your neighbors, especially if you live in a good neighborhood. You know, if you're living somewhere that you don't want to be for long, I'm not going to say make enemies with your neighbors, but like, sure, be friendly with them. You know, like nothing but benefits out of it. But also like play your cards close to your chest, because they could be super super nice. They may have super shitty friends though, and you could be like, yeah, dude, I just bought this new gun safe. Haven't had a chance to bolt it down, you know, but I've got a couple of rifles in there. I've kind of put all my spare cash and stuff in there, and it seems like it's going to do a good job for me. And then he's not going to do anything, but he's going to tell his neighbors one day, or his not as good friends one day. So, they're going to show up and they're going to try to take your stuff. And I kind of say that because I literally just saw a video on Instagram earlier today of a, what is it? Like police calls like, hey, I had these people trying to break into my house. They knocked on the door. They have guns. They said they were Fresno police, and I looked out the little peephole and they weren't police. So I ran out the back door. I ran into the neighbor's house and I called you. And shows like the security footage or whatever, and these people like drove into the center courtyard of this apartment complex in Fresno. And they're taking like the safe out of this house, and they like put it in the back of a CRV with the door open. They try to get out, and like they try to ram a cop, so he shoots at them, and then they get by and they go to leave the complex. The other cops are kind of following, and another one fucking rams him, disabling the car. Because like, cool, you don't ram a cop and not expect or attempt to run over a cop with deadly forces now and play an attempt to get out of there cleanly. Sorry, not gonna happen. But yeah, play your shit close to your chest, you know. Like, there's very few friends that I'll show my things to. And like, even then I'm like, okay, cool, I'm not gonna tell you where I'm taking this out of, you know. Hey, look, here's my stack of money that I keep around in case something pops up and I want to buy it, like a little dirt bike. Or see a little car on the way home or something. Like, cool, I like to keep some cash. Not a huge amount, you know. I'm not emptying my bank account and keeping it in a shoebox under the bed or whatever. It's like, cool, I see a 4Runner or something for like $3,000. It's nice to be able to, like, on a Sunday be like, hey, I want to buy it, let me run home, get the money, come back, buy it, clean it up, and flip it the next day or a week later for like $4,000, $5,000, you know. It's a good thing to keep money if you can. If you're in a place where you can keep cash, do it. It's a good way to get yourself ahead, and it's also a good way to kind of like, I don't want to say prove to yourself, but it's a good way to like teach yourself that, cool, having cash on me isn't a thing to control me. It's not gonna be like, oh man, I've got this money here, I've got to spend it. You know, it's like, okay, cool, you know, I've had the same stack of $100 bills or whatever in my safe for a couple of years now, and it just kind of lives there. Haven't really seen a good deal to come across to spend it on. And like the dirt bike thing today, it's like, cool, I had a couple of 50s and stuff I was going to pay for it anyways, but I made the $200 at the tournament because we're making them like $2,500 or something. So they pay for that in our time because we're having to like work with every single group and everything. Okay, cool, here you go. Just going to hand that over in one of my 50s thing that had an exorbitant amount of Bitcoin, where back when it was worth like a couple of $1,000s a piece, he had like millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. And it's like, he did the research, he found, he's like, hey, it would have been buried in this area. I would only have to excavate like a 100 by 100 foot section and go down X amount deep, or whatever the case. When he's like, if y'all let me do it and I can find this, I will pay you. But now that thing's got to be expensive. But I'm pretty sure there's a dude who's is or was looking to do a dump excavation for a while because he had Bitcoin buried in the dump. So that's AK08 right there. A lot of little small airports here. I guess it's just a flat area, and if you're living up here, you probably have a little bush plane or something, and that's probably like the best way to get in and out of your area. So now we just kind of follow this river up for a bit to make our way downtown. I think to tack that one there. PAKT is where we be going and stuff. How was work today, Sean? Were you a contributing member to society? Oh. Also, I am relatively very hungry. We had 2 Cliff Bars on the way in. I had a Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit once I got there, and I had half of a chicken sandwich at like noon 30. And it's currently 9:30 at night. And the only thing I've had since then is like water, Gatorade. I had an energy drink here a little bit before the stream because it was like, hey, I'm going to be up for a wee little bit doing this. Might as well caffeinate, because at the end of the day, it's not going to control me. You know, I can go to sleep anytime. I fixed machines and sprayed weeds. Well, you're going to lose all your profit if you keep spraying weed. So do they just have like... It's not going to dox, but they just have like sewing machines go down all the time, or is it like other big machinery? I know you said there was like an air compressor or something that you had to... Was it an air compressor or a dryer or something that you had to figure out? Like, how common of an issue is it for facilities to need to be managed? Hell yeah, Jesus is chicken. And cut webbing. Yeah, today was a full-ass Chick-fil-A day for me. And now I've got a debate on, am I going to just do my normal midnight snack, which is a substantial bowl of Greek yogurt, granola, and fruit, being strawberries, blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, and like I said, substantial bowl, where it ends up being like 54 grams of protein or something like that with the serving size of it. Ew, Belen, there's other people in this chat. Ugh. Don't talk about your sex life here. Oh, God. I'm imagining like role playing as a facilities manager. Oh, that's fucking funny. Sewing machines don't go down that often, but there's a lot of them. So any given day, someone has an issue. That air compressor's a pain in my ass. Eight people? What's up, 8 people? Yeah, we had some pretty solid numbers last night after y'all left, Sean. It was a pretty stout night, that's for sure. Which, relatively happy with, you know, like it was basically once the chatting started, you know, it just kind of kept up. The Know Your Joe guy was piping in and asking questions about VR and stuff. Chuck was giving his input with his experience on things that were happening and like things to look out for. Georgia Plain Spotting was in here doing his thing. So good solid night. Orange Jeep was in here, did his little peace sign, said what's up. You know, solid night, you know. Good group, and it just kept the chat continuous the entire time. I was typing, but Sean put me in timeout. Is this part of the facilities manager role play? Sorry. No, Sean, just be proud. You're in a nice, loving relationship. And I'm very proud of you, and I'm very happy for both of you. Also, Belinda, do you have a role for me yet with your company that I can like interview for and sneak my way onto payroll and cut you a percentage of it as we go, and then when they figure it out, you'll be like, oh my god, I had no idea, but you'll be driving a Mercedes. Moderators be moderated. Yeah, I was tempted to actually use the H160 today. Just because, I mean, it cruises at like 160 knots. It's ballistic. Like I did my first test flight with it, and I just did the helicopter thing of like lean forward and pull some power out of it, and dude, it was moving. Like by the end of the runway, we were doing like 140 knots. I was, shit. Like I didn't even take off at the end of the runway. I took off from the ramp at my local, and dude, it was cruising. I freaking like consistently climbed to like 4,500 feet per minute. Do you want a mediocre title with ridiculous pay, or do you want a BC suite? I don't really care about the title. The ridiculous pay is kind of what I'm after, to hold me over while we're film's being slow. Also, crazy theory that I heard today about film, I'll say that in a second. But it's like whatever dumb job that pays a whole bunch that would be easy to get me in an interview, I can smash the interview. That's not my worry. That would be sick. We do that, give you a little cut of it, bada bing, bada boom. And then I either actually end up being good at the job and nobody ever knows the difference, or they figure it out after a few weeks and I cut you a check. Easy peasy. But anyways, so I heard today the reason they're being slow from one of my stunt friends who was there. He was talking to a guy who's like a bigger stunt guy, been around, does coordinating on different shows and stuff like that. Anyways, he said that coordinator guy had said that there's only a few shows filming right now because it's a very like well-known and well-trusted cast, or they're going overseas to where it's like a whole bunch of like non-American people. And the reason is they're waiting for the Epstein client list to be released, because it's like, okay, cool, let's say we have, let's just say with like Kevin Spacey before he was out or whatever, like, cool, we're doing a movie with Kevin Spacey, and then it comes out, it's like, ooh, wait a second, Kevin Spacey was banging kids. Ugh. Can't have a movie with that. There goes a couple of $1 million. So, yeah, there's that. Just apply to every program manager job you see. It takes nothing to do. Dude, honestly, like, I'm not here to, like, float my own boat, but I think I could be a program manager in just about anything. That might be, like, blind, just, like, hyping myself, like, oh, yeah, program manager, easy job. But it legitimately sounds stupid easy for all the things that I've ever seen. And it's like, they're gonna, like, most, like, recruiters that do their job are gonna look at the resume and be like, well, that's not exactly what we're looking for. Cool, I get it. That means you're doing your job. But have you considered that I'm very good at doing everything? Maybe not. It's a glorified list maker. Did y'all ever watch, not An Idiot Abroad, but that Ricky Gervais and whatever that other guy, the tall one that kind of looks like Sean thing? Anyways, they had Liam Neeson come in, and it was fucking hilarious because he was like, I've got this idea, like I want to try to do stand-up comedy. And they're like, well, you know, stand-up comedy is kind of a hard thing to get into, you know, like, it takes the right demeanor. And he just starts saying like these super off-color jokes. And he was like, yeah, I've got a whole list of jokes here that I've written. Like, oh, you have a list? He's like, I'm very good at Schindler's List. That's why I got... Or I'm very good at making lists. That's why I got cast for Schindler's List. Fucking hilarious, though. I wish I remembered everything from it just because it was such a good... like a little stand-up bit from Liam Neeson. For him to actually do stand-up, but he, like, kept his, like, super serious, like, I will find you and I will kill you personality from, I don't even remember the name of that fucking movie. But, yeah, it was really good. And Idiot Abroad's a pretty damn funny show, too. Where they have their friend who just, like, doesn't like going out or trying new things, and they send him all around the world to all these different cultures to try things. Also, I'm completely aware that my Liam Neeson impressions subpar at best. I will work on it. We can revisit this in the future. I'll tell you what, though, guys. This right here, I'm expecting a low fuel light. Doesn't mean I'm scared. It just means we're in for it. I can fly a bit more conservatively too. Right now I knew we were hitting up this place here, so I wasn't super concerned. Pakatuka Tower. This is helicopter 4269. 420 Foxtrot Whiskey. We are 4.5 miles to your south, inbound for ramp. We're going to steal some fuel. Do not resist. Pakatuka Tower. You gonna pee your pants, little baby? Maybe piss and come a little. You scared? What a great little copy pasta. Oh, you're scared, you little baby? You gonna shit your pants? Maybe piss and cum a little? Like, where'd the cum come from? Dude, sometimes people worry me. Oh, no shit. So, mentioned the helicopter podcast a handful of times. Very relevant. But I'm caught up with all those except for the newest episode that just dropped this week. 'Cause I had to jump back on another podcast. Starting to re-catch up on the Seabird Art podcast. And was listening to the episode today of the one current and one former prison correctional officers. Holy shit, they had some stories. Goodness, dude. Traffic and tower. We are 1 mile final for the ramp. Currently right of the active. We'll be crossing here in about 45 seconds. Traffic and tower. Hey, let's keep an eye out for this little fuel box thing that they got somewhere. And slowly lowering the collective and slowly pulling back on my cyclic to get it slowed down enough to come in here like a hot dog on crack in a safe manner. Also, I never acknowledged it yesterday, but we're finally no longer on the wiener of Alaska. There's no way that glider is just taxiing like it's nothing. You need a tow vehicle, sir. A lot of dudes flying out of here. Goodness, this is live traffic. Very cool though. Little like Citation 1 Mustang or something right there. Tiny private jets get me happy. If I ever have the money or funds ability to get a private jet, it's gonna be like a 6-seater. It's gonna be fucking nothing. Okay, get your guns, everybody. Point it at anybody that's telling us no. Click my F button a few times. Fuel is full. Let's get out of here. Thank you. Traffic. This is Helicopter Fuckwagon. We are going to be departing to the northwest, straight off the ramp above your fuel station. Traffic. That was max performance takeoff, and off we go. Kind of tooting ourselves a bit more westerly because we are heading. Actually, we're heading up here. I believe that big in there is McKinley. Yep. Here she blows. In an effort not to spend a lot of power attempting to gain that altitude as we climb the mountains, which may be easier playing ground effect. I'm not going to really use that as my excuse. We're going to begin our climb here. Can somebody inform me on the elevation of the summit of Mount McKinley? Or if you're in California, they probably still call it Denali. Sorry, we don't drive GMC vehicles here. This is a Toyota family. You celebrate Toyotathon with the rest of us. If you say Happy Honda Days to me, I'm gonna kick you. Now, there's not many times that I wish it would render in further away. But man, if I could get like mountain details from here so it looks sharper. Like I had to get close to it today in the H160 for the thumbnail. I really had to send it for that. About 1,000 feet per minute. We're a good clip faster than our best climb, but I've got the best distance right now on my side. So, let's see. 1,000 feet per minute ish. 95 knots ish. 70-something% torque ish. Not too bad. Not too bad. The real question is, we're climbing at 1,000 feet per minute. Is it going to be to do this whole world trip? Yeah, we'll be disappointed. Yeah, I'm not tracking fuel. That's ridiculous. If I was doing it in real life, believe me, I'd have charged and everything. I'd be definitely planning way more out than this, and I wouldn't be like, well, let's go summit the tallest peak in North America. It's fucking silly. And it's like I could figure it, but it also makes it hard because it's like I'm doing it on so many different aircraft platforms, where it's like, okay, cool, is that still like, I think it'd be neat to know, obviously, but I mean, I freaking burned like what, 7,000 pounds of fuel yesterday in the Chinook, versus today will be like maybe 1,200 pounds of fuel, and we're going a shorter distance today. There's that little airport down there. Where are we at now? We're at 5,000 feet. Cool, we're a quarter of the way there. I assume it's like, I think it's 21,000. I believe that's what it is. Which happens to be like the highest I've ever flown this particular helicopter. When I was attempting to Everest myself, back when I first got the game. Doing a power change setting there. And this is going to be an event. I am curious if the 125 will make summit elevation. I don't know how well modeled this is. We're also relatively heavy on fuel, as you can imagine. So I don't know if that's going to play well. I don't want to be like, it's a pipe dream to land up there. We're like, cool, if we can get up there, we can. If not, whatever, you know. The game is not a perfect representation of what the capabilities of the vehicle is. So, if we're able to, though, dang it, we're going to try. And also, I think this, that right up there, I think that's Denali Park, Denali National Park, or something like that. But this right here is like the view, you know, like this is, like when you see the pictures of it, it's usually taken from back here somewhere, this angle, I believe. Yeah, it's completely voluntary. They are a huge fan of what we're doing here, and they think it's a super cool thing that I'm flying around the world. So they're like, hey, dude, here's some fuel. Look, we're raising our hands because we're so excited for you to be getting fuel from our FBO for your journey. Yep, that was definitely a little dirt runway. Made sure to do my my satellite view airport scouting here in Alaska, and I did a good bit in Russia too, along the East Coast, trying to figure out where everything is. Holy crap! 7,500 feet. We're already higher than any mountain in Georgia. I wonder what the tallest mountain in the Appalachian chain is. It'd be neat to know and compare it to this, which I'm sure I've heard. I assume it's not big. I mean, I assume it's like a 7,000 foot peak maybe, which is lower than what we are now, and we're still looking at like the lower third of this fucking range here. Which is wild to me. I don't know if this one's going to, I won't say impress me, as much. Don't get me wrong, this range itself has got its own presence. But Rainier definitely had a feeling to it, just because it was more unusually large compared to everything around this. This kind of like builds up to it a bit. So, you know, there's that, but this may feel more intimidating the closer we get to it. Do more altitude and less speed. Mount Mitchell, 6,600 feet. Yeah, we are 8,700 feet currently, so we're already 2,000 feet above the highest there, and we're still looking at the middle of this range, the middle height section. Like, I think a lot of these peaks are like 15,000 plus. That one, a few more kind of down the main ridge area. So I don't want to say I'm flying IFR right now, but a lot of my attention is just going to trying to keep a climb rate, because once you get this high, it's hard to tell like how nose down or nose up you are. And it's hard to really put it in relative terms. Because also, since we're heavy, I'm at full collective right now. I do not have any more up left in the collective. So, landing on the mountain, cool. We may have to do a running takeoff to get off the top. So that will be fun. A little bit of heli skiing, where we literally ski the helicopter down the other side. Could end in tragedy. Going to be worth it though, because we're not too far into this particular leg. So even if that causes a restart for us crashing, making this attempt, I think it would be worth it. Plus we have our last save point, I'll call it, at a Pakatuka, whatever it is. Whatever Inuit-esque name. We're now getting over here to the base of this glacier. Also, it's kind of weird because, like, you think glacier is one giant solid piece of ice, but I mean, it's flowing like a river. And I think people like Google or some of the more like geological mapping surveys and stuff do things where they're like, okay, cool, yeah, this glacier moves at 40 feet per year or something like that. Like, different things move different speeds. But it would be neat to see some of the people that do the like satellite photography and satellite monitoring of these areas to see like a time lapse of the glacier flowing down a hill, because these mountains are alive. They just move at a different speed of life than what we do. Kind of like trees. Like, if you do long time-lapse photography of trees, you see them reaching around for stuff. There's the theory that everything's like mycelium connected. And they just move at a different pace, you know? Like, I do believe that they talk to each other and they communicate with one another with whatever means, whether it's electrical signals or like a pheromone that they put out into the air or through the mycelium network. They're a little bit slower to react, you know? Big fan of trees, though. Very cool dudes. I'm gonna make my climb a bit less aggressive now. We're gonna try to hold a 500 foot per minute climb. Oop. Like I said, I'm basically just VFR flying at this point, or IFR flying. Like, inputs up here don't do too much. I've actually been slowly evening out my pedals. That way I can get more power to the main rotor and less being dragged back from torque on the tail rotor. That's a down pitch that I felt there. Nope, too much gain. Less gain. There we go. Hello, sir. Yes, we need you to do a mountain rescue. Oof. How high up is it? $12,000 now, another 8,000 feet to go. We're working it. Slower progress. We're smarter, we do it in an airplane. But we're not. So here we are. Here we be. Always be climbing. ABC. I don't think that's a real thing that they teach you, but we're running with it today. Temperatures are still looking good. The air is thin, so that can also be a concern for us. What do y'all think? What's the chance of making Summit in a H-145 with 3/4 of a tank of fuel by the time we get there? My phone says 10 people watching. I doubt that, though. Yeah, refreshing it, showing 6. Sorry for the slower, less exhilarating content right now. We are on a mission that shall bear no fruit. But it's like I'd like to at least make that shelf up there, you know. Summit, still going to shoot for it. And we can make that shelf there and start making the downhill on the way back. I'd be okay with it. Is there another thermometer in here? Curious what the outside air temperature is. Oh, yeah, we got a outside air temperature negative 19.1 degrees Celsius. Jeez. Also, that means our altimeter will be a bit off. That's okay. Jeez, where did 1,500 feet a minute come from? Not saying no, but I don't want to kill my airspeed. Settling with power is a thing at this altitude. That is for sure. I want my forward airspeed. Without a doubt. I think we'll make that shelf at least. Got a little bit of airspeed back. movements I'm doing are so little right now. The high altitude is just completely different feeling to fly in. And yes, I am running supplemental oxygen right now. Thank you for asking. Oh, nope, that's down. Don't want down. Still want me ups. This is almost less exciting than me trying to fly instrument through some, like, thick-ass clouds for you guys. But we'll do it. We'll do something, that's for sure. I'm going to try to go right of peak. Because right now I'm full right pedal. My tail rotor is at the edge of its capabilities at this altitude. But luckily, we have a lot of playroom if something happens. But this is by far the riskiest thing I've done. Like, me being goofy and flying around like that international or whatever on the northern coast of Washington. Got close there with a little bit of lag and speed flying around the airport. This right here, by far the most risky thing flight-wise, as far as, negative 23 degrees. But yeah, this is by far the most risky whatever that I've done in this flight so far. And just judging by this, like, we may go by Everest Base Camp. I'm not even going to try for a summit. I don't think there's anything in this game, helicopter-wise, that would be reliable and accurate enough to do it. I know they have done it in real life in a 125 or an AS350, whatever it was. I forget how long ago they did it. But this ain't it for sure. Whatever the physics that they put into this falls apart at altitude, and that's for sure. It does give me a respect for the pilots who do this stuff. You know, they like test pilots. You're like, oh, what are you testing? You're doing something extreme? You flying upside down? No, we're just flying so far out of the operational envelope of what this is designed to do that it is extreme. It's very extreme. But we're getting there. We are getting there for sure. Anybody that's just tuning in, this is Mount McKinley in Alaska. I am not sure that we're going to make the summit. I honestly don't think the helicopter has enough ass behind it, because it is like a 20,000 foot peak or something like that. And I just don't think that they have the model well enough made. I think I'm a bit heavy right now because we wanted to have enough fuel to make our fuel stop, which is way, way out there, another hour-and-a-half flight. So, we're turtle crawling. We're trying to give it a shot, but I cannot tell you for sure. I think we have at least this ledge made, but I'm already at the limits of what my tail rotor can handle, so performing a landing would be extremely, extremely risky up here. It would be a full LTE situation, and that's a nose down and hope I can cancel that out sort of thing. Nose down, opposite cyclic. And also I'm in full collective right now, and I'm full right pedal. it's still wanting to turn me left. Of course, I do the dumbass thing and turn the whole thing right a little bit more with the cyclic, trying to fight it. I mean, 70 knots is about VY for this thing, so like I can still gain. I'm still gaining. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know, my dudes. I'm still going to try though. I've made this shelf now, that's for sure. It is nice. I almost put the custom point right on it, so that was a good guess. I'm over here like holding death pedal with my right foot for no reason. My pedals don't self-center. I don't need to worry about that. And if we get up here and we're still climbing, I may try an orbit. Just to see if I can actually achieve higher altitude. But a landing attempt may be out of the question here. Actually, I'm pretty much calling it now that it's out of the question. Unless something significant changes, a landing attempt's not going to be happening. Elaine, what do you think? You're not wearing your oxygen. Hopefully you're hypoxic soon. Getting tired of your shit. Yeah. Remember what you did yesterday. Don't forget it. Either way, honestly impressive for the H-125. I mean, it's a fucking machine. There's a reason this is one of the most popular turbine helicopters in the world. For so many different capabilities and jobs and whatever else. Yeah, it is kind of feeling intimidating. I'll say that for sure. Holy shit. We will be attempting an orbit just to do a complete overfly of the entire altitude of it. I do think we have enough ass for that. But I'm pretty sure we do not have enough ass for a landing. I don't have the tail rotor for that. Oop, got some air over that ledge. We were losing altitude there. Must have had a downdraft. Nope, I still want to be gaining. A, B, C, always be climbing. I'm going to take a little bit of pedal out to work on a turn. Guys, we are up here. Holy shit. Nope, nope, nope. Gain, gain, gain. Do not start pushing me low right now. We're at 19,000 feet now. Lost almost all of our airspeed there. I'm going to try to even out and gain some airspeed back. I don't want to lose altitude though. I'm pushing forward ever so slightly. I mean, I'm okay with 100 feet per minute. I'm okay. Nope. I think this is all she got, guys. I think 19,000 is kind of what they've capped this thing at. I am not getting any higher. If I try to, I mean, we're losing all of our airspeed, and I do not want to go into any sort of I mean, it could be LTE as well. But I do not want to get into any sort of like settling with power or a vortex ring state up here. Oop, 19.1. We got a headwind here. We're going to play it. We're going to play it. Nope, 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 nope. Give me the altitude, give me the altitude. Yep, 19.1's all she wrote, guys. McKinley, you're better than the 125, at least as far as Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 is concerned. Maybe if I had less fuel and wasn't worried about trying to make a checkpoint, which is a long way that way, we could do this. But my goal is to fly around the world, not to summit you. So onward we go, guys. Good attempt. It was fun, but we can scram now. Also, like, I'm still full collective, and you can tell the engine's just, I don't want to say loving it, but I mean, we were at no torque up there. I mean, it was like 30-40% torque. It was just, there was nothing holding the blades. There's nothing, no sort of drag on it, just because the air's so thin up here. Wild. Cool shit, though. I'm glad we made the stop. Lower collective now because we're getting enough airspeed to where it's getting a bit of ETL, which is weird because ETL is a thing up here, even when I'm like in an out of ground effect sort of hover, just because the air is so thin it's not effective. At least that's what it felt like. It felt a lot like getting into ETL. Okay, onward to McGrath we go. Nifty, nifty, nifty. See a few people in here now. If you're not my normal crowd, welcome. We're flying around the world because it's a lot cheaper to do this on a sim that I already on instead of getting on Amazon at the times between 8 and 9 o'clock. Also, being in between jobs with the film industry, thanks to our spy that's holding everybody's secrets in a book and he didn't kill himself, we're not working right now. So, just chilling. This is free. It's fun. Get to hang out with my homies in here. Georgia Plane Spotting. Go check out his channel. Give him a sub. And Sean, I don't think he has anything on his channel, honestly. I think it's just like a page for him. But he's my other mod. He's neat. You should ask him any questions about tactical gear you have, and he'll be glad to explain it to you in a level that you probably didn't ask for, but now you're getting it, so it's just going to be a thing. That's why we've been going down for a bit. We're only at 15,000. Try not to just dive out of this. You feeling better now, Elaine? You got your oxygen back? Good. A cloud over there? Looks like it. Yeah, good old Mount McKinley flying in the range up here in Alaska, making our way to McGrath, then to Tuka or something on the western coast of Alaska. And then I think tomorrow will be a water crossing, actually. It's actually a pretty easy, simple descent right now, so we'll keep it shallow to give us time to look around while we're able to map. We're working on getting out here to then I think tomorrow we may hit Nome, and then from there the world is our oyster because we can either go here and there, or we can attempt a full crossing. But yeah, tomorrow may just be a short flight there, or if it's a good crowd, you know, maybe we'll do the fucking jump, or maybe we'll hit the middle island and call it there. So we're kind of like an in-between point for the night. That way the next day will end up being the Russia jump. Also, it looks a lot longer here. That's just because of the planet being circular and maps being different. But really, it's just like a 50-mile jump there and a 30-mile jump there, if I remember correctly. That's the general goals right now. That's about what we're aiming for. But if you are in here, I appreciate it. There's a little like button there and a subscribe button or whatever, because we still have another 90-something days of this. I'm assuming about a 100-day trip, but that's could be a little bit less, could be a little bit more. Just kind of depends on what sort of touristy things we do once we get into more exciting areas. From here for the next week, we're going to be relatively boring. Finishing up this flat part of Alaska, doing a water crossing, and then down the east coast of Russia. They're not exactly lookers as far as towns and sights and neat things to see, but it should be a lot of cool geography, not too dissimilar to this. So, yeah, the next week will probably be my hardest week as far as keeping my attention, but y'all are here to make sure that I keep showing back up. Yeah, just another day at the end of the day. We're out here doing it for Dell, having fun. Gotta turn on that NASCAR thing tomorrow, watch the boy Cletus do some rounds around the track. And depending on the time, I think the race is in the afternoon. It's at Talladega. I think it's like a 4 o'clock race, I believe. But may go out to the airport, do some heli spotting for fun. Who knows? We'll see. Guess what? We're still above 10,000 feet. Freaking unreal. Tell you what, guys, we were cruising up there. I am curious if any of the helicopter models will make it up there. R-22, sure as shit won't. I've tried it at like 12,000 or 13,000 starting on the ground, and I couldn't even get it moving with a running landing. I think I tried that down in Chile once. But the 160 might. I got it up around the same altitude, but I didn't really try. I was just kind of going for the thumbnail for this. 225 maybe. Chinook, I don't think so. It's got power, but I feel like this game's just restricting rotorcraft to 19,000, which, okay, cool, understandable. The physics that they've modeled for this breaks down at higher bits, so it's not that bad. It's not an end of the world thing. Although once we do get low, we may find a scenic place to stop to go pee on a bush. I assume we'll be out here by the river somewhere. We'll look for bears. Which I know Microsoft does have animals in the game. I'm curious where bears would be, or we'll see a moose or something. We'll fly low and kind of keep an eye out. If we see something, we see something. If not, we don't. And I'm expecting that river that's kind of dead center of the screen there to be our stopping point for a quick hop out and pee in the bush break. We might get eaten alive by mosquitoes while we're doing it, though. I hear they're bad once you get up here. Also, we're not going to be anywhere near Fairbanks, are we? That's north. Yeah, that's way over here. Fairbanks would be a neat place to visit. It's crazy because it's like major city of Alaska. It's like with like the 3 major cities this place has. But major city, and it's like the size of a small town near me. Rain for like 5 minutes, lots of lightning. Bear, yeah. I mean, the game has animals. I mean, they have a shit ton of animals in the game. They all have like their own biomes that they spawn in though. So thunderstorms will likely form in 36 minutes. Thanks, weather. I like that. So now we're showing likelihood of rain. Well, fingers crossed it doesn't become too bad. It looks like we might get a bit, but fingers crossed it's just a normal little storm and doesn't throw Starlink for too much of a loop. I still need to push down. We've got so much airspeed in the air's cool and thick right here, so it's kind of floating us more than I prefer. Although, kind of seeing bushes and stuff now, so we're low enough for that to render in at least. It's wild that man, like, saw this mountain range and then they were like, you know what? Microsoft Teams. That's the move. Did I ask for your opinion? No. Tired of that woman. I wish she got kind of stuck behind like you did in Nashville that day. Do you remember? I do. Best flight of the whole thing. Because you were sitting on the runway. Yeah. Slap the shit out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, hoping for a bear. Would be cool. Now this is the speed I'm looking for. To make up for that crawling that we did earlier trying to gain the altitude. Throwing 140 knots at it now. 140 knots, a problem solver. Call it my Glock 40. Sean, what exciting's on the horizon? You still in here? Or are you busy managing a facility? If so, you might be the first person watching a stream to manage a facility while watching. So good for you. Really though, 10 people in here watching? Good for y'all. I'm proud of all of you actually. And I hope everybody had a good Friday. It's going to turn to a good weekend. You all deserve it. Oh, we're definitely getting lower. I can feel the air difference. Or maybe just like a wind change at a different level. Definitely getting some trees. Start keeping an eye out for animals. I wonder if anybody's put like an online map of wild animal spawns here in a simulator. Because like there are maps for like when you're actually in the photo challenge menu of where like spotted snow leopards or whatever are in the Himalayas. It gives you an idea of where those are at. You're looking forward to the crossing, is what you're telling me. You're looking forward to this, but with just like water 1,000 foot below us? Or the fact that like we're literally in another continent. Because the other continent part, it's kind of exciting for me. Because it's... I kind of am imagining this like the drive I used to do to come home on the weekends. So I used to live in Valdosta, Georgia, and I would drive back north up to Atlanta area every couple of weekends or whatever. And it's not a long drive, you know, it's 3.5, 4 hours most. But more on the 3.5 side. And no, Sunday is when you go to Atlanta. Oh, I thought it was next week. I guess I'm just fucking stupid. Anyways, yeah, I kind of look at the sections of this, and then I subsection out my sections, and I subsection those sections. So, like, my area to Valdosta, we'll just say it's like 200 miles. And exit 101, we'll just say that's like a mid-ish point. Which really not mid, it's actually closer. Anyways, but 101 has like some cooler things at that exit. And when I say cooler things, I mean they have like a rocket next to the road. Advertising like an Arby's or something, I don't know. There's a rocket. But then like halfway between here and there is exit like the bottom of 475, and halfway between me and there is something else, and halfway between there and exit 101 is the exit that has like the Lion's Den adult superstore that has 1 million billboards. And then like halfway between there and Valdosta is something else. So like I have, even though it's a long drive, I mentally separate it into a whole bunch of like different sections, and every little thing is subsectioned. So even though we're doing this longer flight around the world, we're now just about through one of my major sections, where it's like not the 10-day mark or the 13-day or 15-day mark. It's not really a day mark thing, it's a distance thing or a location thing, and we're just about done with the American location. I would always like, even though it's just another mile, I'd always kind of have like the second wind once I would pass like exit 101, because like, okay, cool, yeah, like I'm more than halfway there. And now it's like, cool, I'm going on to like the next continent, and from there it's just a little bit of a bounce, and then I'm crossing the Atlantic Ocean, which of course it's going to be freaking 2 months from now, most likely. But I can separate it in my head a little bit. Like I think like my next big one past this, or my next subsection, if you will, would be getting to be able to do the next water jump over to Japan. Because like I said, I believe the east coast of Russia is going to be dull at best. With the exception like, okay, cool, neat mountains. Maybe they're more aggressive than I'm expecting. I don't know. I honestly have no idea. I see the geography on the map. I see the airports on satellite view, because I kind of confirmed that they look well enough to handle Jet A, because I want to only land at airports that look like they could actually support a refuel for whatever we're flying. And yeah, I just think East Coast of Russia is going to be dull. But like getting past that's kind of my next smaller checkpoint. And then from there, I think I have mentally separated out once we hop away from Japan. And we do, because this right here will be one of those jumps, whether it's here to there or whatever, that's going to be a jump. And we're going to island chain down. But once we hit Taiwan, I think that'll be a nice little point for me, because I'm like, okay, cool, we're basically mainland China there. With the short hop over. Then we get to come down here. I haven't decided if we're going to jump this or not, or if we're going to coast, because I do want to hit Thailand, so I think we'll probably come down through here. What is that freaking straight line? I guess it's just a river that runs relatively straight. Interesting. Yeah, I'd like to come down here and work through Thailand. They've got some wild mountains. I've got some checkpoints or areas of interest that I'm definitely interested in stopping by. But I think after the coast of Russia, hitting Japan is my next big, like, we made it. And then making it past China. And then it's going to be the edge before I hit India, jumping over India to avoid the country completely. Yeah, like I said, I've just got these mental checkpoints of where I think will be like a point of relief for finally making it that far. Let's see, let's start killing some altitude. Maybe I can set down on this ridge up here, because we're still at 5,500 feet, goodness. But I can set down on this ridge right here. We can have a little bit of a view, if it's bald enough for us. And we can all go pee in a bush real quick. There's mountains deep off to the right over there. Am I just seeing this? I think we're just seeing that. We got some rain coming in. It looks that's crazy. There's looks like a relatively big storm coming from the west, but there's just no coverage here. But it doesn't look too much northy, so I think this is the ridge we're aiming for here. We're not down by that ridge, we're doing 1,000 feet per minute, then we'll hit the river. Which is what I said at the last one, but I kind of stopped paying attention to what my descent rate was. But anyways, how's everybody else doing? I know it's more than just my normal people in here. You all have thumbs, nothing stopping you from typing except for yourself. And if you're one of the people sitting in here and watching, you know, like, why not make the stream slightly more interesting by putting a little bit of conversation here? We can yap about just about anything you want to think about or imagine. I happen to be a subject matter expert in it. So yeah, that's up to you guys. But either way, I'm just happy to be here. I'm blessed to be in this little bit of a spot, and feels good to do straight and level stuff every once in a while. I almost think I'm an airplane. But we all know that we're better than that. Sean, did I send you the South Park thing today? Are you even listening? Berlin, stop having facilities that need managing. Dude, there has to be bears here. Or mooses or elks or something. When there's mooses here, we gotta find a knuckle. I need me one of those right now. Whew. Like something terrible. Hey, look, we're almost down to not freezing temperatures. It's now negative 0.4 degrees Celsius. Yep. Also, if you see me kind of wiggly wobbly sometimes like right now, my controls do not have self-centering. So, as I'm busy readjusting my seating position in my not a gaming chair that's not comfortable by any means, my stick kind of gets wobbled around some, and we all suffer because of it. But, you're hanging in there and you're buckled up. So that's the important thing here, right? There we go. We're going to take this peak over here. It looks bald enough to set down on. Start lowering collective some more. We're about a half tank of fuel, it looks like. Yeah, feeling good. We should land with about a quarter tank. Oh, cool thing is, I think this peak happens to be like dead center of the path that we have set up for the flight director anyways. So, seeing animals? And we're now above freezing, everybody. We've done it. Basically survived. Be very careful managing power right here. We still are at a little bit of an altitude, but not really. Still very unsure of where our winds are coming from. And this is still a game that has little glitches and stuff as everything's loading in. So I want to make sure that we're not going to biff something coming in. Have a tree spawn in on us. Dust it out a little bit. Looks pretty damn flat. A little bit of a right snatch there. That was weird, but we'll take it. Let's go ahead and turn this down. Actually, I'm going to do a shutdown. Yeah, let's do a shutdown. Why not? Wilderness shutdown. Okay, guys, please don't hop out of the helicopter yet. Blades are kind of low on this side because that's an uphill side. It's kind of flat over there. I don't want anybody losing a head, at least at this point of the flight. Turn off. There you go. Pull that back. Y'all can hop out here in just a second. See, blades are stopped. Oop, that was the camera mode. That was not fun. Shift C. Is the other door open for you guys? Y'all can figure it out yourself. We're not going to pee here. We're going to pee at the peak. Can we see McKinley back there? Yeah. We got the view, guys. That's what we're here for, right? This is what having a helicopter is all about, am I right? Okay, I'm going to hop out of VR mode real quick. Actually leave this on for just a second, because that way y'all can still have microphone for me. I want to make sure that y'all are actually in a nice little visual spot. Let's see, where's my OBS? Yeah, not bad. Okay, cool. I'll be right back, guys. Okay. Let's see. Let's hop back over here. Hop back in the virtual reality mode. Greetings, everybody. I hope you all had a good snack break and a good defueling session for yourself. Make our way back down to the Airbus H125 and finish the mid leg of today's journey, and then we'll shoot on over to the coast. Simple as. Kind of annoying with the VR, like whichever way I look, I'm still pressing just forward on my keyboard. Wish I could do this with my my hand controls, but it won't work for some reason. It's not straight. There we go. Not bad. Elaine, I hope you're still holding it. Battery stayed on because she was listed to the radio. Fuel pump prime. Engine start on. N1 is going up. Lower temperature's way higher than that, but it kind of does like a whole restart thing when it does this. But yeah, bush plane could probably definitely make it up here with the right approach, with the right pilot. If these rocks weren't here, definitely. The rocks that it kind of spawns in on this just kind of ruins that for that sort of realism. But like the plus side is, unless it's like one of those bigger dudes up there, I don't think any of these have collision. I did torpedo heat. Boop. Okay, everybody, hold on. Here we go. Yeah, good. See, you stay in there, you stay buckled, you don't do anything. If you were to mess up, my boy would be taking care of you. When I say taking care of you, I mean finding the nearest grizzly bear, letting it beat you, and then putting you back in the helicopter, making you do your job. You're welcome here, but you're not welcome here. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Okay, everything's all good. All the things are stabilized. Let's slowly start picking up. We got a bit of a right snatch there setting down for some reason, so I'm going to play a little bit more left pedal strong. Looks like the wind might be blowing to our left a little bit as well. Picking up, picking up, picking up, picking up. Too much left pedal. And that's something that can also be felt more as a in real life versus the sim. You'd be able to feel it moving around a bit more. This isn't the direction we're going, but I'm just taking some free forward airspeed right here with the run-up area that we have and skadoodling this way. Let's go, boys. Okay, back to grinding, literally. This is pretty much the flight sim around the world equivalent of grinding for a video game. Trying to measure my little thing there. About 50 miles, 40 to 50 miles to McGrath. Not that bad. Nothing little speed can't make better. Okay. Headset seems to be settled now. You can pour in a little bit of power. And by a little bit, I mean a lot of bit of power. As you can see, we're running like 90% torque there. Oh, we are still playing some windy games here, I'll tell you that for sure. I am feeling it. I'm watching the ground speed on our Garmin down there. We have slight tailwind, but it's not super friendly. Also, for the airplane enthusiasts that are in the stream, I'm sure you saw the passing of Rob Holland. A very accomplished, well decorated. I don't know how you would say it, but anyway, super phenomenal stunt show aerobatic pilot. Passed away at the air show out west at Air Force Base. So super sad to see that happen. Definitely a huge member of the community. Impacted a lot of people, so sad to see that happen. And if you're not aware, look up Rob Holland flying, and he's one of those people that you watch him and you go, okay, cool, physics isn't exactly what I expected physics to be. He flew one of those planes like the Extras or Game Bird. Is it Game Bird? Anyway, he flew that sort of like Red Bull racing aerobatic plane where it's like, go up 50 G's in a little wing plane. Okay, yeah, like that. It's that sort of type of plane. Like 10 G sustained type of pulls and like 15 G max capables in the airframe before they start like having any sort of stresses. Is it called Game Bird? Is Game Bird the one that's in like Missouri, I think? But they make a stunt plane for tall people, which is the cool thing. A lot of the planes are very small, but that particular company happens to make a plane for people that are not particularly challenged. Also, sorry for the wobbly mask there for a second. Had an eyelash that decided it needed to live inside of my eyeball. Still looking for a moose. Maybe we'll find one. Curious what altitude our path has us at. Not too bad. And also, you have me like worried about the weather now outside. Heavy rain and thunderstorm starting in 35 minutes. Cool. Let's go to radar and see what it looks like. Oh, cool. That looks substantial. So with... Why does it say 35 minutes? This should starting soon. Already getting loading slow, it looks like. Bandwidth too low. I may just attempt to make it to McGrath here. With as much expediency as possible. And call that a night. Just so that way we're not cut off by weather here for me. So I'm going to throw some more speed at this right now. I was kind of happy cruising, but we're going to get a bit more aggressive with it. Run that torque as much as we can, you know? I've got my cyclic pushed forward as much as it can go. Damn Mount McKinley, distracting me from actually making good time. I'm also watching, like I said, I monitor on my phone because that's how I do my looking at my comments and everything. Then I have my laptop up running it as like an administrator or whatever. And both of them had kind of frozen up there for a second. I just took my phone off of Wi-Fi though, so maybe that will help me out. Boys, we are chooching along 150 knots. Show people what the A-Star is all about. Is that a weird hill right there, or just a weird artifact? It's kind of right on that line, so I'm thinking probably an artifact of some way. Well, that could just be a weird hill. One, two, three over. Oh, that could be a hill there. Weird. I don't think it's big enough to matter. Have y'all ever seen the map? I think it's like a whole bunch of like crater lakes or something in like South Carolina. I forget what the I want to say it's South Carolina. Come on, load in for me. Anyway, there's something in like South or North Carolina or something along those lines that's a whole bunch of people looked at it like, oh wait, we think all this scarring on the ground is meteor shower, like a asteroid or comet hit or something like that. Well, bandwidth is low, so its loading times are probably garbage on that, but we'll leave it there. Let me double check that. We should be heading more this way. Yeah. I think it's all of this stuff, maybe. Anyway, if you're into geography and stuff, it's something to look into because it's a pretty solid theory about something. But like if you look at like topographical features or something along those lines, apparently like the whole Carolina coast area is just like impact craters from a fucking like barrage, like got shot with like an intergalactic shotgun or something. The spacey scattergun. There you go, rendering. Good job, good job. Okay, these little standalone hills make that other one back there seem much more realistic, or much more likely. Come on, give me speed back. Collective she's got. We've got to make it to McGrath before we get a storm and lose power in the middle of the stream. Got 15 miles away. Not too bad. Not too bad. Looks like we may have some weather coming up, so I may have an IFR landing. Or a squint my eyes extra hard landing. Either way, we'll set down to still fuel to lock in our progress location per my made up rules for stream progression, and we'll look at the old Weather Underground or AccuWeather or something and see what it's showing for me. But I don't think I've heard thunder yet. I say yet because I know it'll likely happen. Especially, you said you had a lot of lightning, right? Sorry for the wobbles there, readjusting myself and the seat and everything here. Why is there nobody else flying out here? That's so weird. And also, if we do call it short today, I'll definitely do something longer tomorrow. And we'll use something like the 160 or the 225 where we can put some speed behind it, put some distance behind it, some range, and we'll make the same stopping point regardless. I want to end tomorrow. I think it's Nome is the name of the town in Alaska. But either way, Sunday will be a water crossing and we will end up in Russia. So expect a new continent Sunday night for our final resting place. Little runway we're about to pass underneath us up here, but I'm not considering this place supporting of the Jet A consumption. Yeah, it looks like I'm kind of southern end of the system as well here too. Kind of hard to tell because it's such a weird traveling northeast, but it's kind of fluxing and changing in size this entire time, so. I still have an entire county away. Okay, focus, focus, focus. So cruising 120 knots. We can do better. Lean it forward, up on the collective. Speed, speed, speed. How's everybody else in here doing? Big numbers. 10, 11 people. It's all 12 a second ago. Got that Friday night magic going on. But yeah, we'll land, and we'll call that good for now. I'll take off and continue flying after stealing fuel. If we make it without losing power, then we make it without losing power. If not, then we don't. But I said I at least want to make McGrath as a solid checkpoint, because that was one of the goals. I was originally only going to go to McGrath today, but I think the coast and Monday starting a new continent would be very nice. So. I am depressed. I only saw one helicopter outside today. It was a nice day outside all day. Air Evac Life Team. A little bit more than 10 miles away. Not bad. That looked paved-ish from satellite view. But I also couldn't tell if maybe it was just like crush and run gravel sort of paving on that particular airport. So I opted for McGrath. A lot of water up here in this area. I don't know if that's something I expected or not. I mean, I've watched like Expedition Overland doing like the Mackenzie Trail, but they didn't get up to this part of Alaska. They have done Pan American highway up here, but I don't think they went as rural as this. So I don't know why. I just don't think I expected this much water up here. Still haven't seen a moose, though. Gonna have to talk to them about that. Let's see, we're looking at these lakes here in front of us, which are those. Looking at a river. We're basically following that river. Okay. Okay. Not bad. But since we do have a lot of give the spiel that Mr. Georgia Plane Spotting, the coolest mod around, heard a million times already. I'm a film industry professional. I do props and guns for movies and TV shows. And everything's slow right now, so I'm done with my last show. And the new season of that starts back up in like August. So until then, I've got nothing to do because nothing else is working. Usually I'll grab another show in between shows and another show in between those shows. But everything's very, very slow at the moment, so I figured what's free? We're going to fly around the world in a helicopter. And what's freer than that? Flying around the world in a helicopter in a simulator. So, yeah, that's what we're doing. I figure it's a good 100-day project or so. Gives me something to look forward to almost every night, or every night. And the more y'all talk, the more I talk. Which, maybe that's why y'all are being quiet. But, yeah, do feel free to subscribe. Because we'll do this. I'll toss in little helicopter flying lessons here and there. That's something I plan on doing as soon as this next show, or the same show starts back up again, so I have a good solid 6-7 months of income planned at that point. But right now, since everything's slow, I'm just kind of coasting it, which, that's fine. Coasting's not that big of a deal. But there's also a lot of cool stuff going on. Got some rally racing and motorcycle stuff coming up, and some shooting competitions and things. So that will all be cool. The channel here in general is going to try to document as much of that as I can. Also kind of understanding that can't do too much of the gun stuff on here. Just I'd like to keep the channel as family accessible as possible. Just because it's if it eventually turns into an income, that would help cover the downtimes between filming stuff. But also, like I said, I want to learn how to fly helicopters in real life, so this is a good training tool for that. One of the regular viewers here, Chuck, did that himself, and he said it helped out tremendously, so I'm hoping to have the same results. If y'all see Chuck in here eventually, say, hey, cool guy. I would suggest being a homie with Chuck. Yeah, so I'm hoping helicopter piloting can become an actual career outside of the film industry, where I can do little things here and there between gigs, and then once I build up enough hours myself, I can go full-time into something that pays a respectable and comparable amount to what I'm making currently. But yeah, so now y'all have all heard the same thing Georgia Plane Spotting's heard at least 13 times, if not more, because I talked about it in other streams and stuff before this series came out. Yeah, we're looking to do 2 to 5 hours a night, all depending. All depending on what the day was like, if I do other things. I think I've only taken 1 day off so far. But I think I may do one. I think I may take Monday off, because we'll end Sunday in Russia. I may take Monday off, and then come back swinging on Tuesday. But either way, we'll eventually make it around the world. Yeah, you have heard it a lot. But it's funny, because as soon as I say it here to this group of all the homies hanging out, somebody else will drop in and they'll be like, oh cool, so like what do you do in real life? Because that's what happened last night with Know Your Joe. He showed up near the end of the stream last night when we were maybe 20 minutes from Anchorage, something like that, maybe a little bit longer than, maybe 30 minutes from Anchorage. And I think I had just gone through that entire spiel. And he came in and started chatting, asking questions and stuff, and lo and behold, like, so what do you do in real life? Like, what's your setup? What are you doing this? Like, exactly what I had just answered, but it was just a good time. But like, you never know with the live stuff, you know, it could be like a middle of the week thing where there's nobody here whatsoever and it's just me and you sitting here flying around. Or it could be something like today where we're averaging like 9 to 12 people this entire time. So either way, it's like whatever. I'm here to fly around the world, and if y'all want to ride along, then I got seats open for you. So, except for the co-pilot seat, because this bitch right here, Elaine, affectionately known as Elaine. Was it you or was it... I think it was one of my other friends that had commented, like, she kind of looks like a female Elon Musk. And everybody just started calling her Elaine, and it's just kind of stuck now. Okay, let's see how close we are now. We may do a call. Yeah. McGrath traffic. This is helicopter 420, Foxtrot Whiskey. We are about 7 miles to your east. We are inbound direct for ramp. We plan on stealing fuel. You can't do anything about it, by the way. If you don't call us fuckwagon, we're going to knock over your tower on the way in. Anyways, fuckwagon out. Let's go. And yes, I'm very aware this is November 61351. That's not our number at heart. Our number at heart's November 420 FW, Foxtrot Whiskey for fuckwagon. Why? Why not? I don't know. I really don't see the Elon Musk resemblance with her. I don't know. Maybe it's like, maybe if he were to slim himself up a little bit, he could, but Elon's kind of gotten a bit thick. Which, I mean, I guess that happens when you can just eat and not worry about the cost of eggs or steak or anything, and you just... I don't want to say he sits at a desk all day, but I don't see him having a very physically demanding job. It just doesn't seem like what would be a thing for somebody in his position. Her chin. Hey. Look at me. Elaine. Yeah, it's kind of there. I'm still not fully seeing it, but like I could let it pass. Okay, let's see. We are close. Yep. Got my path kind of swinging around there. Perfect. It's amazing that this river hasn't cut more than what it is currently. I guess it's also like such a slow flower. I don't know anything about Alaskan weather. I know Alaskan weather can be rough, but I don't know anything about it. Like, are there ever like huge rainstorms up here, other than just like little things coming through, to where it can be like flood stages for these, or do they just kind of stay low all the time because it snows and it melts and it snows and it melts? Because I feel like if this went through flood stages, it would have jumped. I mean, there is signs that it's jumped. I mean, that right there is a jump where it's cut over. But it's wild to see it this windy. But that's also a big silt thing, too. It's a big sediment in the river thing. So that probably gets picked up a lot with the snow and makes it a lot more silty, which changes a lot of deposits. I've watched entire videos online. Yeah, see, like all those little cuts right there in the tree, those are former river paths. Weird. Yeah, there's all videos on YouTube of scientists that have set up like river path experiments and shit like that, and it's super fascinating to me. That's why I'm looking around so much at this, because it's like, why hasn't this right here broken? Why does the river go down here and then swing over? Has enough deposits built up there that where it's just not going to do that, but why hasn't it jumped there and crossed over and slowly cut that into a lake of its own? Because, I mean, you can see where this river's been snaking through this area forever. Okay, what are we looking like here, McGrath? How is this airport a thing sitting on this peninsula? And if I zoom in here, yeah, you can see all the different paths. Maybe it gets wild up here. Look at all that. Yeah, I think it's just a lot of silt deposits that I don't want to say messes it up, but moves it around and moves the ground so many different places. Let's see. How far is it once we get here? Another long ass trip with a lot of weather, actually. here. Let's find the fuel box and still a little bit of gas. So we are down to a quarter tank, kind of like I was expecting. If it wasn't such a slow process, I'd like to try McKinley with lower fuel. I wonder if we can get higher than 19,000. It's just such a slow climb up there. Or at least with the modeling in this game. And down on the collective, back on the cyclic. Throwing a little bit of left pedal in there because we're not auto-rotating, but we're kind of auto-rotating. I wonder what the fishing like's up here. I don't want to say seafood, but man, I bet the freaking fish is great. And we're still like 1,000 feet above sea level. I don't necessarily see the fuel farm, but sometimes it's like accidentally rendered inside buildings or something. So we can just assume that it's truck delivery or something. Let's see. There's no like helipad on the ground to aim for. It's just kind of like, okay, cool, just kind of park wherever. Okay, that's done. Toss a bit of fuel back in there, and as you can see, this gauge right here is now all topped off. Let me check my weather in real life here in our world. Oof. Somehow it looks like we've kind of sort of missed, or it's kind of sort of gone around us. So, we'll continue on. The final push to the western coast of Alaska, at least on the southern side of that little bay. Then we'll bay jump tomorrow. I think we'll sleep the island for the night and head over to Russia Sunday. Okay, McGrath, thank you for the fuel. Sorry about the dead security guard. Not my fault, not it. Off we go. Also, let me see if I can do this. What's going on? Nearest airport list. McGrath. Automated weather. 2980.
Papa Alpha Mike Charlie automated weather observation 0300
That's what I wanted.
Zulu. Wind.
Adjust our altimeter. Okay, let's chase some weather, boys. Sounds like the fun thing to do. They have IFR capable H125s, are IFR certified 125s now, so why not ours? Damn right, free fuel. You think we're paying for this shit? Nope. Never even considered it. Don't know how their security guard died, though. That's really sad. They should look into that. Yeah, how's everybody doing? Y'all are awfully quiet. I'm assuming you're all bots now at this point. What's going on? How was your Friday? What's going on for the weekend? Are you going to go out and wave at helicopters as they fly by, or are you lying to me? The important questions. Oh. I love these clouds rolling, and that's so good to feel. Well, we're at 6.8 Celsius. It's not bad. Long line breaker. Cover. Long line. Yeah. Tease me with a false hope of a long line. You do 30-foot strings off the bottom of this thing. You don't do anything long line adjacent. Air vent. I wish they made that more intuitive. Thank you. Perfect. Want some fresh air and some more sound for you guys. A little treat for being nice. Jeep, what's going on, dude? Going wheeling tomorrow, hell yeah. Are you winched or are you trying to do some lone stuff, going with buddies? What's the plan? Haven't been wheeling with buddies in a been a while, really. I've used my winch a lot, snatching people out. There's a local Georgia 4x4 rescue and recovery group. I go out a handful for post on that, but a lot of their posts are people like come to the group like, oh my god, we need help, we're stuck in the mountains. Everybody's like, where are you? Post coordinates, post pictures. And then people go out looking for them. They're like, we got out, we called a tow truck. It's like, well, don't post in the fucking group. But I've had a couple people down near more in my area. I'm going to go help a few of them out. Use a lot for work too, surprisingly. People in the film industry somehow don't know how to avoid mud. Hey, good so far. I wish I had a higher quality stream. I think we're only at like 720/60 or 1080/60 or something like that. I was going to look at my settings on OBS. I just forgot to, but also like I am limited by whatever Starlink can do for cloud-based gaming as well as uploading at the same time or streaming at the same time. So, you know, could I do better for everybody? Sure. Is it viable currently? Not really. Living in the middle of nowhere. Kind of a downside, but you know, like if I wanted to, I could mow my yard naked. Like I'm out here. There is nobody around, so like it's nice to have that bit of secludedness, you know. Armor Ditch in Oopsie Doopsie, New Hampshire. Oh, nice. That sounds like a good group then. Like we've done some. Like I'm a Toyota guy. I mentioned it before. Like we went on a few trail rides, and it mostly ended up being Toyota people because it was all like gun community people, so everybody had a freaking gray Toyota Tacoma, except for me. But there was one guy with a Raptor out there. I had my 4Runner, and there was a gray one or two gray or silver 4Runners as well. But like every single pickup truck there except for one Raptor and one first-gen Tundra, like an 04 or 05. All the other pickup trucks were gray Tacomas, which was hilarious. It's like, oh man, y'all are totally not part of the stereotype. That's like, good job, guys. You're living it up to doing something unique here. Appreciate it. Ooh, we're getting back to some bigger mountains and stuff. Chuck, were you in here earlier when we were trying to do McKinley? We got up there and we got up to 19,000 feet. Wouldn't let us get any higher. We were heavy on fuel though because we had just topped off. Because this was a long stretch to get out to McGrath anyway, so I'd rather not summit McKinley but still make the destination. Yeah, we were at 19,000 feet. I was absolute full right pedal, like from like 15,000 foot plus. Full cyclic from like 10,000, or full collective from like 10,000 foot plus. And when we were near the summit, we were only pulling like 30-40% torque from the engines. The air was thin up there, and I want to say we were at like -20 or -25 Celsius temperature as well. Tacomas and Canics? No. Tacomas and Glocks. This is the Glock family. Were there any... I don't even think we had any 320 people out there, thankfully. But no, yeah, these people that I roll with, they're all they are more deep in the gun side of things than they are the vehicular side of things. So their trucks is like, okay, cool, like 2 to 3 inch, very functional lift of like quality Bilstein shocks or Fox shocks, and solid springs, basic steel bumper winch, a couple of bumper mounted lights, no light bars, like all super low profile sort of setups, but all very capable. The only guy that got stuck actually was a Raptor because he was trying to do an odd line, and it kind of threw him in a very like sideways angle into a ditch. So we had to do a pretty hard angle pull on him where he was at this sort of angle here in a ditch. So we pulled from over here, but we had him turn his wheels this way, so that would help even him out, but also keep him kind of pulling in the correct-ish direction. So yeah, that was a fun little winch. I helped them set that up, because I don't think anybody there had actually winched before. And I've helped with a handful of like friend recoveries and stuff like that. My brain just works on physics. Like, okay, cool, this makes sense. If you do it this way, it's gonna give you a better chance of rolling. But that day was also the same day that I put my 4Runner up to the headlights. I had water splash over the hoods on it going through one of the sections. I mean, this is the H-125 truck. This is the helicopter that's landed on the summit of Everest and taken off from the summit of Everest. And I want to say they've even been up to like 30,000 feet with this thing. But I don't know how well that's modeled in the game, and if the game's physics plays well with rotorcraft at that height. Functional is the way to go. Have a good night, folks. Dude, thanks for saying something before you got out of here. But have safe wheeling. If somebody gets stuck, pull them out and make sure to take pictures of you doing it so that way you can hold it over their head forever. Yeah, I even mentioned oxygen. We did not give any oxygen to the co-pilot here. She didn't earn it. That's her fault. But yeah, dude, it was like if the physics were playing right, I was wanting to attempt a landing on the summit, because I think throughout the trip, as far as high peaks, McKinley's obviously the tallest point in North America. So I was like, man, it'd be cool to land on McKinley. Because I've tried summit before, or I've tried to summit Everest before, and it did not go, I'm not going to say it didn't go well, I just wasn't able to make it up there. And I had even done like lighter fuel and completely lighten the helicopter and everything. It wasn't modified. I want to say it was just literally like pilot seat and whatever they calculated to be minimum fuel required. But they went up there, they sat down on the summit, and they sat there for a couple of minutes, like a 3-minute set down up there. And then he did a pickup takeoff and fly away and gained altitude afterwards. So it wasn't like a pickup by doing a running landing down the face of it to get the speed up. But yeah, they did a summit of Everest. So like I said, I've tried it before in here. It didn't work, so I don't know if it's just maybe they did it in like one of the newer iterations of the H125, and I have no idea what iteration this one is, honestly. It's newish, but it's not new. So I don't know if it's just a discrepancy with that, or maybe this is just 100 horsepower down, or whatever, you know. Either way, I was thinking, cool, we're going to go past McKinley. It's 21,000 feet, 20,000 feet. It's up there. I was like, cool, if we're going to be there, saved, would have been worth it, potentially. Oh, okay, I see it. But I don't know if they did anything different with that. I think he just found his VY and sent it. They might have done half or quarter fuel, but I don't think they went minimum for the big altitude send. Yeah, these 125s, they're tough little dudes. Which, I don't want to say it sucks, but these things have, I don't want to say been around as long as the 206, but they've been around a pretty damn long time. But kind of like the 206, they've been refined so many times. Like you look at the 206 L4, like just about everything in the body is like reinforced with better engineering and better design, stronger mounts on everything. Like it's more or less a completely different helicopter than the originals. So it's like, yeah, there are 206s that were built in 1970 or 1967 that are still flying that I've seen. And yeah, good for them, you know. You take care of it, you do your maintenance, and you replace the parts that need to be replaced, and you have a good A&P looking over it, and a good MRO program. You know, you're solid. But these 125s are really the AS350 back when they were not owned by Eurocopter or Airbus. But the AS350, they've been around for a bit. I mean, I want to say it's like 74 or something, and it's like, cool, yeah, they're good helicopters. They look good, and when you put a good paint job on these things, I mean, they look decent. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's a very basic shape. Which is wild, because, I mean, you do like the that new thing where they put the black paint kind of in this area here where it makes it look like a bigger window up front. They look really good. Some paint schemes on them don't look good, obviously. I mean, I think that goes for anything. I mean, there's brand new cars. There's Lamborghinis that I don't like paint jobs on just because of whatever reason. But if I was buying a helicopter, I mean, I would not mind getting an H125, but I was looking for like a single engine turbine. Like H125's damn near top of the list. If I was about to say driving, I was flying and storing at home though, and I was buying newish, I'd probably do a Bell 505. 2 blades, put it in an RV hangar or RV garage, because you don't need the super wide hangar door like a 3-rotor system like this. Although I think there's a company who makes a folding blade system for this. I'm not 100% sure though, but I would assume there probably is. There's folding blade systems for a lot of helicopters now. I mean, MD-500s, I don't think they have a folding system unless it's like a military spec unit. But I mean, they have relatively small rotor diameter. So I mean, you can't put them in anywhere, but you can get them in pretty good number of places. If you really want to be technical, you can get like a 4-bladed system in pretty small gaps. Garage door can be smaller than the overall width of the blades if you want to do like some turning maneuvers while getting it in. But the 505, I've heard a lot of good stuff about the 505. And I think we had a guy come in the other day and say there was a pretty solid 505 model from somebody. But I don't know if it'd be... I don't know how well developed it is. I think he said it like flew fine, or it was just like a nice smooth thing to fly, which I'm sure it is in real life too, you know. Bell makes a good product. But I wonder if it's smooth in the game because it's like modeled very softly, or it's like modeled as a very beginner flying sort of aircraft. Because I feel like the 407 and Capri G2, I feel like they're very easily modeled. Like where either way, the 505 model was reviewed as good by some people, saying, hey man, this is actually a super solid flight model, then I'd consider it. But I did just download yesterday the Airbus H160, so we'll use that probably for the ocean crossing tomorrow, day after tomorrow maybe. Because tomorrow, I think tomorrow we're going to do a good bit of water. Because we're going to go from the coast up to Nome and then Nome to the island. I think that'll be the funnest thing to do. So we'll have like one more last goodbye. We'll weigh the options though, because that would be kind of adding a third of our distance to where we... Oh, no. Yeah, that's what we want to do. Yeah, from here to Nome, then from Nome to here, and then Sunday we'll hop over to Russia. And depending on where the Russian airports are, we'll... could be a long day or a short day on Monday. Or Sunday. If there's a closer airport Sunday, we'll do one jump in because it's a relatively short distance from island to mainland. Okay, I'm starting to get near some weather. I can see it out on the horizon. Hello, mountain. Still don't see any mooses. Very upset. Not too bad of a little reveal there. This feels very like Vermontish. You're just looking at like this style. Mountains, kind of bald caps. Okay, adios. See you in a few, man. Reboots the router, comes back tomorrow. I didn't say it was going to be a few hours or like a few lot of hours or a few days. Who knew? Trying to favor a little bit right, hoping that we're going to be a bit more clear of this storm because it's more over there. But I do see more things out front that way, so who knows? We'll see. Maybe we won't have to fight it too bad. So, Mr. Georgia Plane Spotting, how long are you planning on spending in Atlanta for your spotting adventures? Because you should, or you said you were just doing Hartsfield, right? You weren't gonna, or potentially PDK, but your main goal was to do a couple spots at Hartsfield, correct? And I say tomorrow, mid Sunday. Either way. Whew. Guys apparently sleeping for like 4 hours last night. Been waking up and doing stuff in the sunlight all day. And living on a chicken biscuit and half a Chick-fil-A sandwich is not a healthy, energy-filled lifestyle, despite the fact that I drank 600 milligrams of caffeine today. Would anybody have guessed that? A few hours, hoping to get there for 11 a.m. Nice. Are you just going to do like the sort of tripod thing where you set up and slowly go through, and are you going to like take notes of planes, tail numbers, routes, and all that stuff? Because like I see some people do that. Where they're like, okay, cool, 757 that took off from Dallas Fort Worth to Atlanta. This is an A320 from Sacramento to Atlanta. You know, Spirit, United, whatever. I'm curious if you're gonna take that sort of notes for that, or do you, I mean, I guess you can go back through ATC comms and listen to approaches and tower comms and whatever, if you ever wanted to add that into the edit and leave 5 to 6. Yeah, not a bad bit of running into this one airplane. I've seen flight KE-36 a significant number of times, and it's like a 12 to 14 or 15 hour flight to South Korea, Seoul, South Korea, nonstop. And it was like almost every day for a week I saw it, whether like driving to work or like from way far. I'm like, oh, that's a different color, and I see it from like 35, 40 miles south. I'm like, oh cool, Korean Airlines taking off. Then I'd see it like the next day going to work, or I'd be at work the next day and I'd see it while I'm at work and outside doing something. For like a week straight I saw it all the time. And like usually if I'm going through Atlanta at that time, like I'll see KE-36 just because it's a noonish departure type of thing. I have notes on my phone of tail numbers, cool. K35 and K36 had been changed from 748 to B773, but on Sunday it should be a 747-8. Oh, nice. I haven't paid that much attention to the aircraft. Every time I've always seen it, it's always been a non-747, like a standard single deck sort of airplane. Yo, what up? Know You're Joe. I was just talking about you a few minutes ago. In a good way, don't worry. We had like 12 people in here. Nobody was really saying anything. And I was like, okay, cool. For anybody who doesn't know, this is my kind of spiel of, I do the film thing, and I want to learn how to fly, blah, 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 blah. I set up the sim, blah, 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 blah. And I was talking about how it's funny how, like, I've explained that many, many times. I'll do it a few times during streams, and so it's been said a lot of times. It was like, I think it was like 2 minutes before you popped in last night that I had just done that spiel, and you popped in, and you're like, oh, cool, so like, what do you do in real life? It's like, I just went over this, but I'll do it again since you just got into the stream. But, yeah, I was talking about that a few minutes ago. I was like, oh, yeah, when Know Your Joe was in here, and we had a long conversation last night, getting into Anchorage, and a little bit of fun flying afterwards, after Georgia plane spotting popped off. Oh yeah, solid day. Spent most of my day outside in the sunlight, so I'm not as happy as they're getting. Saturday they're sending the new livery 773-300 HL Boob. Is that Korean or is that somebody else that's sending the new livery, or is that the Delta one that you're talking about? Which one were you talking about, new livery that you were hoping to see? Was that it? And who was that with? Because I remember you mentioning something about a new livery plane where it's like it's been done, but they're just waiting to use. You had mentioned something about it. I just don't remember. And then something popped up on my Instagram feed, and I was looking at. I was like, "Who is this?" And I clicked on it. It was some girl who does plane spotting, but most of her plane spots were all like livery planes. So. Also, I'm not sure if it's just a weather line that's actually flat like this, or if it's limits of radar in the area. But we're getting to a line of weather, but it doesn't look like it's that bad. Looks like our windshield may get a little bit wet, but it doesn't look like it's thick enough up there to be any sort of like wild IMC conditions, like survivable IMC. Let's see. So what is it you do for a living? 930 G's and 942 up? Yeah, dude, you are rocking. Before we had Starlink, we had a AT&T, and like the fastest advertised speed for our area was like 10 megabits per second down. And we'd be lucky if we got like 5 most days, and like a quarter to a half megabit per second upload. But now Starlink, and we average like 100 to 170. Sometimes we get like 300 or 400 depending on what the coverage is like. So very happy with that. The Delta 100-year anniversary livery A350 still hasn't flown. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, dude, that's wild internet speed. Holy shit. Like, I wonder what the limit is to, like, what, other than like, okay, cool, let's download this huge file from somewhere, but like as far as like standard everyday usage where it's like streaming Netflix, checking stuff, watching YouTube, maybe uploading a video, or doing streaming yourself and somebody else in your house is streaming something, like I wonder like what's the cutoff to where it's like, cool, you're not going to notice a difference between 300 megabit per second and 900, because 900 is wild. Oop, I just heard my first thunder for the day. I made the epic trek to Micro Center today. Hell yeah. They actually had a few GPUs back in stock. I was looking at power supplies and motherboard. Yeah, I got lucky. $1,000 for the computer. I don't mind if it's over, but I want to be around the $2,000 mark, because that's where it becomes potentially money saving for me if it helps out my actual PPL process for flying in real life. And the dude was like, cool, we'll do this package thing for you, we'll get you set up with this. It just fucking worked out great. I'm so tickled with Micro Center. And every time I go there, it's like you walk in, and I've been there a few times. Like I bought a 3D printer there years ago, like I want to say it was like the first week or two of COVID, really, or like after the initial lockdown, air quotations, because they weren't taking cash, and I had a whole bunch of cash. But I'd gone there and bought a 3D printer back then, like just like a normal average 3D printer, and I was overwhelmed as shit. I'm walking, because like I still barely know anything about computers, but went back to the 3D printing section, told the dude, he's like, yeah, dude, this would be a good one. It's an open box, and we always take things and we test them out. And he'd opened up a few open boxes back there. He's like, okay, cool. We had 3 different ones that were all open box. This was the nicest looking one out of the ones we had. I took them all out, put them side by side, and compared them, and this looked like the nicest one. And like, dude, they've always treated me so right anytime I go in there. And even though I still feel overwhelmed in that store just because it's what it is, they're just so nice. I mean, super quality. Great job on them for hiring and whatever. And your internet, did your internet drop or did my internet drop? Because I just had some thunder at my house. Did it drop for anybody else or was it just Joe? Let me see. Let me turn on my AccuWeather and see. See, now it's just telling me rain will likely form in the next 9 minutes. But I think the storm has actually passed me, but I just got my first thunder. Jeez, dude. If you look at Athens, Georgia, kind of like northwest of Atlanta, they are getting wrecked right now. Holy crap. It's a purple cell the size of an entire county up there. I noticed the gig bandwidth when downloading MSFS. 9 gig. Jeez, that's a lucky download. This was still a substantial download for 2024, even though it's cloud-based. Right after I said I heard thunder. Yeah, which that's crazy. It didn't drop when the actual storm went over, but I guess the thunder happened to put enough electricity in the air to mess with the Starlink a little bit. We have 400 megabits a second down speed. When it works correctly, my wife can be watching TV, my son playing online and watching live stream, and I can be playing a game or watching YouTube, and things seem okay. Yeah, I think the big difference, like Chuck said, is when you're up to the gigabit type speeds, it's okay, cool, like what can you download? Like what big files did you need to download to where you can do it? Like, funny thing, my back when we were on AT&T, for our rural ass service that they had given us, my brother, I'm not gonna say he was doing a lot of gaming. He was doing the average amount of gaming. Oop, that just updated there. Got a little wind flux there. He was doing the average amount of gaming. I'm gonna lose altitude here so I don't lose sight of the ground when we go through this thicker shit. If we need to set down eventually, we will, but I think I'll be able to just skirt this on the lower end. Let's see, can I take off radar? Okay, it looks like we don't have any mountains up in front of us. I'll turn radar back on just for my own giggles. Time to lock in, boys. But yeah, so we had I'm not going to read a chat here just for a bit while I'm dealing with these conditions most likely. But yeah, my brother, he would take his Xbox, because he was gaming the standard casual amount, you know, like whatever, a few hours a night like normal. But if you're not a gamer and for some reason watching this and you don't know, a lot of the games now have very, very big update sizes, where when you have a extremely slow internet like the AT&T garbage that they were charging us more than what we pay for Starlink, it makes sense for him. So what he would do, my dad at the time was working at a trucking company as a dispatcher. So Brian would actually take his Xbox up to my dad's work, which is like 2-3 miles away or something like that. And I don't know how he would plug it in, if there was like a TV in the conference room or whatever, but my dad worked like a 4 o'clock p.m. to midnight shift, second shift, which actually ended up being a really, really solid shift. But yeah, my brother would go up there and take his Xbox up there, because I think they had T1 or fiber or something up there. It's like, hey, why not go take advantage of it, you know? Yeah, for running This, I definitely wish I had better speeds. Sometimes it's not that big of a deal. Because like I said, at the end of the day, as long as I'm not lagging, it's not wild for me. You know, it's like, I downloaded the game to learn how to fly, and sightseeing now would probably be the part where it'd be better for me. Because now it's like, okay, cool, like I want to see the mountains in the distance. I want to see all this stuff rendered in and loaded in. Of course, like right now we're in northern Alaska, so I don't expect the ground to look much better than this, even with full detail. So that's just a symptom of our location at the moment. But yeah, there's sometimes where I wish we definitely had stronger for stuff like that. The FOMO struggle of fear. Oh yeah, it's a weather balloon following the storm came over me. I've been trying to see it since 6. I gave up when the sun set. Oh. Well, it sucks to be you. I didn't know they did daytime weather balloons a lot now. Oh, I see it over there now. It's at what, 58,060? Yeah. Get to the point where my butt's starting to fall asleep. Means it's been a good stream. And only 12:04, not that bad actually. It's like, I don't know how bad the fear or how much you would actually miss out on not being at the fastest speeds or whatever. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's like if you want to see like me, for instance, I'm local-ish to Atlanta, would never live in the city though. Don't even want to live near the city. That's why I'm in the middle of fucking nowhere. But I fly around Atlanta a lot because, you know, you always kind of want to like be your hometown medical pilot. You know, that's kind of like at the core, even though I feel like that's more of a work and retire sort of job because it's more 9 to 5-ish. But like flying local is attractive to me. So I fly around Atlanta a lot. It's because I'm familiar. I like seeing roads in different places. But all the scenery packs and like the aftermarket add-ons for Atlanta and my different areas near me, I've downloaded just because it's like, cool, I want to have better views of that. And then at that point, it'll load in better anyways just because I've downloaded aftermarket graphics for it. It's not whatever default garbage that there actually is. I'll tell you what, the aftermarket graphics for cities is worth it if it's somewhere that you want to fly around regularly. Because like we went through Kansas City, where one of my other mods lives at, and I went through, and I think I turned, or we were able to kind of go through like just at sunset, and the buildings were just like the most boring version generated building garbage crap, whatever. I was like, man, I kind of wish I downloaded a Kansas City one when I came through there just for that. Check the weather balloon is. The weather balloon left the ground February 7th. Long. It's been up there that long? Holy shit. Has it been up that long, or do they just like give the same flight number to different balloons from the same place? Because I feel like, don't weather balloons usually go up and pop and come back down like all in the same day? Aren't they like a one-time, or I know they're one-time use obviously, but aren't they like a one-day use sort of thing where they go up, they expand, and they keep on going up and they keep on expanding, and then... Also, this weather line really hasn't moved, so it's weird that it's just like a standing storm. Let's pour some more power into it though. Also, 100% is garbage. I'm not seeing a damn thing through this freaking screen. I know that's one thing they were supposedly addressing in the beta was the brightness of these screens in certain situations. Well, cool. Give me my freaking lighting adjustment. I'll make it work. You know, like I'll see my screen when I need to see it. Just make my adjustments work. Let's see, a little bit of elevation coming at us, but nothing too crazy. Back in focus mode though. Curious how thick it's going to get once we hit this yellow bit. Got a half tank of fuel ish. It's also because I've been kind of ripping on it. Ground speed 133 knots, and we're showing like 125 indicated, so little tail with us. Do a little mix of instrument, little mix of IFR. But we're pretty locked in right now. I'm also foolish enough to look at my phone. What would I change about my setup knowing what I know now? Oh yeah, dude, the night lighting enhancement looks great in Atlanta. Okay, let's drop a little bit of altitude. Don't want to lose the ground. I know I'm turning hard. I see a quicker out going in this angle here. And I'd much rather go in that angle towards a quick out if possible. Nope, that looks thick there. Come over here, reorient ourselves. Damn, clouds got hands, guys. Let's go. What do you think? Do the windshield wipers actually do shit? Question of the day. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Kind of annoying though. Don't think it's worth the annoyance. Oop. That was my fault. Forgot to plug my laptop in and it just went. Oh yeah, what would I change knowing what I know now? I haven't had any like significant throttling issues that I've noticed. I've also managed my expectations as far as what my graphical settings is going to be. Like I'm not coming in here going, okay, cool, I need to run ultra everything. I do kind of wish I had gone with a different cyclic and done maybe just like their standard Apache setup, or done the VIP roll, or something like that, or the whatever that other one that we mentioned last night that I just always forget the name of. Because I feel like that's a easier thing to grow into. Kind of like how they always say, like, cool, when you get your first motorcycle, you know, get a, like your first street bike, get a 600, don't get a 250. Unless you plan on like only riding the 250 around town and you're okay never wanting to go on the interstate or do anything, whatever. They usually say get a 600 because you'll grow out of the 250 really quick. And I don't want to say that I feel like I've grown out of this control set, because it still works. Like, it's not that big of a deal, but it would feel a lot cooler using a more non-Robinson setup. But this has done what I wanted it to do for me, so I'm no complaints really. Or maybe it's I should have done a setup that had more room for growth. That's probably a better way to word it, because I think this one's pretty set where it's going to be this stick. I don't think I can change it out. But maybe I can. I've never really looked into it. Puma. Yeah, that's it. I just glanced over and saw that. So that would be a big thing. Also, if I wasn't doing it as kind of like the strict, I'm doing this to learn how to fly, and that's my only purpose for not wanting to go 40-90 or whatever, then yeah, I definitely probably would have stepped up graphics card. But the biggest thing now, I think, would be my motherboard. So with the MetaQuest 3S, it requires 18 watts of power to keep the headset running. And we kind of touched on this the other day, and I finally found a motherboard that would work. But it's like the motherboard I have is the like B650E Asus. And I think I have to step to like the B890 or some ridiculous motherboard that's like $700, where the USB port on the back would supply enough wattage to keep my headset charged with just the MetaLink cable. Because the MetaLink cable is more reliable, so like I would much rather use that than this aftermarket one I'm using now. But at this point in the stream, if I was just using the MetaLink cable, it would be like, yep, sorry, you burned your battery, we couldn't recharge you fast enough, so you got to deal with that. So I would have gone with another motherboard knowing that ahead of time. That's not something I ever considered. That's nothing I ever knew would be a thing. I didn't even really pay attention to that until a few weeks ago, or not even a few days ago. Because the only reason I have this cheaper cable option right now is because I didn't want to spend $80 on a cable, and somebody said, oh yeah, get the one with the battery charger thing so that way you can charge your headset at the same time. Sure, so I went with that. I didn't know it was a motherboard not being able to supply the power issue. That would never cross my mind. So given the chance to do it again, I would have either budgeted more or been more specific with like buying the minimum motherboard required to put out the amount of wattage to run the headset as possible. Now that we're out here kind of in the clear a little bit, I will check this. It says you can put USB PCIe expansion card with an enhanced power output. Okay, cool, something to look into because I do have spare PCIe slots. Yeah, the Puma's a good setup option for you since it mounts to the motion rig. Single or dual throttles in the collective? Honestly, still probably single. The only helicopter so far in everything that I fly here that is dual throttle is the Bell 222 Bravo, where it has like dual manipulatable throttles. Everything else on a FADEC system to where it's a stop, ground idle, and flight. I don't have any other models that run twin engines that are actually something that you can manipulate. So I don't really have a need for dual throttles. Now if I was doing more airplane stuff, then yeah. Also, we're going to get wiggly right here. I'm trying to reach for something on the ground. Nope, I can't reach it, so I'll wait till we get to a clearing and I'll go down and try to get it. It's honestly probably not even worth it. I'll just not worry about the rest of the stream on that. Anyways. Yeah, that also goes to show, like, I just don't know shit about computers. PCIe expansion sounds fucking wild. Never heard of her before. That looks gnarly. Big ass storm. Everything's bigger in Alaska, you know what they say. Looks like we're gonna get a little bit more hilly up here, but nothing wild. One little storm to squeeze through there. And for that, I may try to duck and cover to go through that. Or squeeze around here, but this looks like the smoother option to go north of that. Okay. Go back to this and we'll skirt just on this side of this storm here. Because we'll be doing a tighter fuel run with what we're doing here, so. Lost my airspeed looking for my water bottle there. Perfect, love that. Hey, there's an airplane over there to the left. Probably way up, though. Nobody flies low with me. I'm very sheepishly going to risk this entire flight. Aha! I've reached it. I'm very stubborn on stuff like this. If I want to reach something, even with my headset on, I'm going to fucking try it. I mean, I will say I did reach it, so that is a success in itself. Laptop has been plugged back in for reasons that are not as important as it should have been to risk the flight that's already taken 3.5 hours today. Also, you can get a head strap with hot swap high capacity batteries for the Quest 3. The downside is for that, I would not be able to run my Meta Link cable through that. I would have to run it as a Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Airlink sort of thing. And I'm running this through a Starlink router, whatever my factory internet thing is. I'm running this through a Starlink router that's on the other side of the house. So my internet connection speed for PC to headset isn't the best. And I literally just learned about the ability to set up a Wi-Fi router specifically for computer to headset usage. So that is something I am exploring, just because that would be a neater type thing to have. But that's also still like wildly outside of my capability and understanding. So, I want to say the Puma setup's like relatively reasonable. Isn't it like $1,200 or something, or like $1,000? Because they have a few different models. I just set up a dedicated Quest 3 router. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm leaning to. Although at the end of the day, I'm also in a weird spot of being a mildly holistic health sort of person. Like when I'm not at assisting a golf tournament during the day where my only meal is a chicken biscuit and half a chicken sandwich. like a normal off day, no work, whatever, at the house, I eat farm beef from a farm down the street, eggs from a neighbor, vegetables from like personal gardens or stuff that I've canned or preserved, like raw butter. I drink raw milk. I eat or mix in pure beef collagen supplements to the milk, so the only ingredient is beef collagen, nothing else added in there, unadulterated, legitimate, non-faked Italian olive oil, real like avocado oil if I'm doing something like a higher flash point cooking. I mean, like, everything is... I try to be as absolutely healthy as I can. I try to exercise every day or whatever. And it does bug me having to wear the headset to do the VR stuff. But I kind of like look at it like this is a necessary evil for me at the moment, so I give that a pass. I do run it in night mode though, so it's more yellow tinted. But I don't know how I feel about sticking a powerful ass Wi-Fi router right in front of me while I'm doing this. I already hate having Wi-Fi like bouncing around my house. If I could go to just like wired internet everywhere, that would be optimal. How far are we from the destination, he asked. I assume because he's getting a little bit sleepy. This is how far we are from destination. So our bar right here is 7.5 miles. And if you were to put that there for measurement, you can deduce that we're don't. You can deduce that we are about 1, 2, 3.5, 7 miles. So I'd say maybe 30 miles, and we're traveling just under 100 knots. I'll turn it up a little bit because I think we're going to be good on fuel now. I was being conservative there for a bit. I think we're close enough now, and the storm's dissolved enough around us here in our current location where I don't need to worry too much about dodging cells. Yes, I am, but it's so cute when he's sleepy. Okay, nobody listen to me typing. I'm typing in a password on the computer. I honestly don't know if it's the right password. I just kind of like do it by feel. So having to like think about what I'm typing is weird for me. Hey, it worked. Good for us. Yeah, I'm not tired. How's everybody else? I know what everybody else doesn't have the exact same feelings as me all the time. You mean I'm not the hero to the entire world story? Anybody else hate turning on a computer? They're like 65 programs pop in. They're like, you know you want us to use you. You want us these 37 programs to turn on when you turn on the computer? This is on your to-do list? No, go away. Freaking Steam, Discord. What else turns on immediately and makes me angry? I do have a program called Spider Pro, which I don't mind. It's a color correction software, so it calibrates your monitor to be much more color corrected. 127, what? What do you mean it's 127? My phone says 1227. Does my phone think I'm in another state? Are you in a different time zone? How the hell are you getting different times than I am? We live in the same state. Or am I crazy? You tell me. Usually I'm wearing a watch, but I took my watch off for a shower earlier, so... Okay, I thought I was going fucking crazy. I was about to say, holy shit, we've been streaming for almost 5 hours. Okay, guys, I've made the executive decision that we're going to punch this. I honestly don't see anything that could go wrong being this close to our destination. So we're going to punch that. I'm not going to dodge it. Disagree? Agree? Am I stupid? Let me turn the radar off real quick. Luckily our path looks a bit riverish, but I don't know for sure. Send it, hell yeah. Love the enthusiasm. We're an IFR channel here on Multi-Shot Matt. And I think we have plenty of elevation and altitude to play. Everything else looks like it's like 3,000 foot or lower. So I'm going to throw some airspeed at this just to give us a buffer should we punch in and lose all sense of direction. Because forward airspeed is good airspeed. See, look at that. It already dissolved because we made the right decision. Kind of sad. Let's throw some altitude at it, then maybe we'll find a cloud up here. Maybe we'll actually get full IMC. I'm gonna try to turn left. Not just because it's thicker, because it keeps us more online. We'll keep our heading 30. Yep, there we go. Okay, gaining altitude. I wasn't ready to punch in right there. But we're still good. I was doing something else and not paying attention. But honestly, I'm pushing like hard cyclic forward, and we were still going up. So we hit an updraft in there somewhere. But we're all corrected for that now. We're back to more or less even flying. I'm even okay gaining altitude. I don't care about that. I'll take altitude. 'Cause once we clear it, we clear it, and that's not that big of a deal. Lower the collective a wee bit. Lower the collective a wee bit. Don't want to throw that much altitude at it. Clearing out a little bit. Heading a bit more west than I want to. I can see trees below now. That's okay. Still turning, and we're more or less flying level. Can see stuff off to the left, but I'm going to stay in the gauges. Staying in the gauges until we're in the clear. That's the plan. Clear up here for a second. Pay attention. Let's drop a little bit. Play a risky. clear patch here. Let's check my messages while we're doing this. I live in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. It's 2 a.m. for me. Open throttles, empty miles, Atlantic Ocean. I follow ridges. It's not I follow roads up here. It's I follow ridges. Don't listen to Georgia plane spotting. He's being fucking stupid. Hey, you see that? We got some icing here too. What's our outside air temperature? -4. Whee! That's fun. I don't think we're supposed to fly this in icing conditions. We'll lose a little bit of altitude there to be friendly with the icing. Maybe gain a couple of degrees back. -3, we're already getting that back. That's what I want to see. Open throttles though. Garmin down there is showing pretty happy. Yeah. Should have turned this on earlier. Isn't that fucking handy? Red is dead, green is good. Okay, helicopter, we are speed. We have a little boy who's tired and he wants to go to bed. So we gotta get him to bed. There we go. This is the sort of levels I like to be in. Dangerously low. You don't like that red there? It just means the grounds at our level are higher. No big deal. Cool, straight to the coast now. Let's go. Turn on Run the Jewels or whatever. Just don't copyright me. Still -2 out here. Pilot is also a cameraman. I thought about it. I'll probably get into it eventually. I want to do X-Plane next. Just for like the R-22. And I think you said the 47 was also... Did you say the R-22 and 47 were good in X-Plane, Chuck? Either way, I want to do the R-22 at minimum in X-Plane. And I do want to look at like different DLC for a DCS. Let's see what sort of things that there are. Hell yeah. Elaine, why are you ruining the shot? Goodness. Yeah, be ashamed. About 10 miles left, it looks like to me. 47G and fly south. Okay, cool. Cruiser can show us a point from there. Yeah. Shit, the coast is right there. Hell yeah. It was close, but it's kind of hard to like quantify how close it is because Alaska's just so fucking big. Lane doesn't do anything but eat all of our cookies. Hell yeah, dude. We're actually stopping at this FBO, so we'll be nice to them. You sleep in the helicopter. It's 0.6 degrees outside. I don't expect to hear any complaining in the morning. Yeah, dude, these screens suck. They need to work on that. Even the brightness buttons don't do anything. Oh, nope, they do. They fixed that. Hell yeah. Never mind, they didn't work a couple of months ago, so I just gave up on trying those. I didn't know I could program the head motion. Is it like a native thing, or is it something where I gotta do a lot more learning to figure out what I would need to do to make that happen? Because if it's something where I can just like pop in real quick and make them do something, I want them staring at me the entire time to startle the shit out of people. It was funny, my brother and his girlfriend come over, and he was like, dude, put her in the VR and fly around. So I put her in the like co-pilot seat or whatever, and I have her do this thing where you look forward so I can take off and get moving, and then once I'm moving you can look around and see stuff. Of course she forgets that I'm looking at what she's looking, so she's doing all that. I'm like, you gotta look at least like out windows so that way I can like fly the damn helicopter. But for a bit, I want to say she was in pilot seat, and I was doing a right orbit, like right after takeoff, so she was like hardcore looking, and she turned back like this, then fucking screamed because Elaine was sitting there. It was hilarious. Super funny. We all laughed. Looks like we got a little bit of a water feature river to cross here, and then bada bing, bada boom. Some of this place called Pacatucatuca or whatever it is. Pacatucatuca Tower or traffic, whatever you are. This is helicopter 420 Foxtrot Whiskey. We are about 7 miles to your southeast right now, and we're coming in for your cookies. But we're leaving Elaine in the helicopter, so you don't need to worry. See you in a few minutes, guys. And as you see, everybody, that's how you be nice to the FBO. Yeah, I've seen the no more co-pilot thing by setting it to 0. I will say, though, as far as co-pilots or passengers go, the little blonde baddie that they give you for the R-22, she's much better looking than Elaine. Nah, I think 0, it fully removes them. But honestly, I don't think I want to remove her, because it's such a good running joke where somebody's going to pop in on like episode 94 and I will be like, oh my god, I forgot this bitch was in here. And we're all going to laugh because it's going to be great. And we're like, that's the joke we've been doing for a couple of months now. We've already been doing it for a couple of months. But yeah, I say we leave her in here. It's fun, it's silly, it brings character to it, even though she's a bitch. We're not following that pattern. Pattern looks like that damn river right there. Yeah, I think this is just a basically north-south follows the coast runway sort of deal. Got a little town here on the peninsula. Cute. Elaine, you can go shopping for whale blubber or whatever you want to use. I don't know. Okay, collect it down. Cyclic pack, start bleeding off some of this air speed so we can get our homie to bed. Do you have anybody there to tuck you in, or do I need to come down there? Do these igloos look advanced? Although the houses definitely do seem like smaller and more Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. They have a tower right there at the end of the runway. That's dumb. Oh, this is our end of the runway, actually, here. There's our fuel station over here as well. Perfect. Let's float her on in here and set her down, and we'll call it a day. You know? Coastal winds are being a bit kicky. I can definitely feel it. Okay, winds. I feel you. Perfect. Let's get this bad boy turned off there. Since this is a rentable. Oh. That was a game crash, boys. Right there at the end. But we sat down and I flipped the battery switch off, or the engine switch off. I'm calling that a win, but that was a straight up game crash. So yeah. Let's give y'all a screen to look at real quick. Just that way we're not looking at a black screen for signing off. Let's see. Source, window capture, OBS. Select window to capture. I can't capture the OBS thing? That's dumb. Okay, we'll just come here then. Okay, so now you'll have something to look at. Yeah, I appreciate y'all being here. It's been fun. It's been a solid day today. We did a good thing. The game crashed right as we landed, so I'm going to call that an absolute win. Yeah, that was that was damn close for the crash. Yeah, it's probably Elaine who did it, honestly. But yeah, y'all get into the FBO, grab a couple of cookies. She's actually locked in the helicopter now, and we've restrained her. But yeah, tomorrow we're gonna make it up to Nome and maybe jump over to the island in the middle. And like, subscribe, do all those things. We'll be back tomorrow, and then we probably we'll do Sunday too, maybe take Monday off. I don't know. We'll talk about it more then. But until then, adios, guys. See you next time.